Oh boy, here we go. Type moon, baby. Give it to me. Yeah, we've seen this screen before. I can't get over the fact that we're actually here. We're actually at a thing. So I guess I'm just going to press start because I don't have a save that goes past that. But anyways, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, those of you who have not yet decided, welcome back to my Let's Play of Fate Stay Night, and welcome to my first episode of the Fate route of Fate Stay Night. I mean, based on the little thing that's written beneath the title, you can pretty much assume that we are that it does sound like we are talking about EMIYA Shiro, which is pretty hype. I'm excited to meet him, even though I kind of adore Rin, and I kind of was hoping, a part of me, you know, was hoping I'd get to play her longer, but I am nevertheless really excited to learn more about this guy, and really excited to learn more about Saber, I would say. She's kind of a huge interest in all of this. I'm recording this about 2 hours after, it might not even be 2 hours, but a little while after finishing the last episode. I'm really excited. It's still only a little before 8:30 in the morning, so I honestly just couldn't wait to get into more Fate. You know, it was just, I've just been thinking about what we just experienced in the previous episode, and I'm just so excited to jump into the actual main game. I can't believe, man, that was really cool. That was really exciting, and that was just the prologue. I love how you just have to go in here just to access it too. It's great. We're at exactly 6 hours technically of being in this game, which is about right, I suppose. Holy crap. I'm nervous to press start. Oh my god. So I'm assuming we're gonna be playing as EMIYA Shiro. And because that implies here. Now again, this seems like the Fate route is in fact going to be about Shiro and Saber. That doesn't tell me anything about UBW or Heaven's Feel though. So my theory that we might actually switch back to Rin for Unlimited Blade Works is really cool. And my other theory is that this is going to start exactly where we left the prologue, but just instead of from Rin's perspective, we're going to be in EMIYA's perspective. That's my prediction. Oh man, you guys know I kind of went over all my predictions near the end of the last episode, but let's not waste any more time. Let's see what Fate has in store for us. Hopefully, I'm not going to have any more issues. Like I said, I was able to fix the glitch. Obviously, the fact that there was a freaking anime intro in this made my game crash, and I was able to find the fix that. We got to all watch that anime intro. I got to react to it, even though I was trying not to look too deep into it, but I saw a bunch of designs, a bunch of characters. Of course, they were in, like, anime form, like, but very interesting stuff. It was very interesting. Let's just jump in and see. I'm excited. It's Fate time. Let's just go. I'm not sure if this will just be episode 3 or what the fuck. I am the bone of my sword. Steel is my body and fire is my blood. I have created over 1,000 blades. Unknown to death, nor known to life, have withstood pain to create many weapons, yet those hands will never hold anything. So as I pray, Unlimited Blade Works. The fuck? I have many questions. Who the hell was saying that? Unlimited Blade Works is the title of not this arc, and they're playing this song, and Jesus, what in the fuck? Good God, you want to talk about death and destruction. Okay, this is not what I was expecting us to start with. Good God. Well, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, we're back into Fate. Holy shit. When I came to, I was in a burning field. I guess there was a big fire. The familiar town had turned to ashes, and it looked like the remains of a battlefield from a movie. Is this the past? But that didn't last long either. The fire had died down by the time the sun rose. Oh, we literally have no idea who this is. The tall wall of flame had shortened, and most of the buildings had fallen. Felt strange, being the only thing in that place that still had its original form. I was the only one still alive around here. I must have been really lucky. or my house was built in a very lucky spot. I don't know which it was, but the point is, I was the only one left alive. I felt that since I survived, I should live on. I started walking aimlessly because I thought it would be dangerous just to stay there. I wasn't really concerned about getting burned up like the people lying around me. Probably because, over and above not wanting to be like them, I had a stronger feeling in my mind. This is a crazy background. Okay. But still, I had no hope. It was already a wonder I was still alive, so I couldn't expect to be saved. I won't survive. Whatever happens, I won't be able to escape from this red world. It was such an absolute hell that even a small child could understand it. Wow. And I collapsed. Is that the sky? Huh. Was it because there was no air? Was it because no function was left in my body? Anyway, I collapsed and stared up at the clouded sky. Everything around me was burned up, and I could see many shriveled people. Jesus. The dark clouds loomed overhead, telling me it would rain soon. Rain on the burning battlefield. That's good. The fire will be put out once it rains. In the end, I sighed deeply and looked up at the sky. I say to myself that it hurts. I say so on behalf of the people who couldn't even say so. Huh. Fuck. That was 10 years ago. So the last Holy Grail War? After that, I was miraculously saved. My body survived. But I think all the other things about me burned up and were reduced to ashes. If you take away a child's parent, home, and all such things, there's nothing left for him. Is this Shiro? That's why there was only my body. I think it's a simple story. In other words, in order to let my body live, my heart died. Jesus Christ. Wait. I'm dreaming. Okay. That sounded like a woman. Is this Rin again? I squint my eyes at the white light. So bright, I think. It was just light entering my eyes when I woke up, but I'm not used to it. Probably didn't even understand what the bright light meant. What the fuck is going on? That is a woman's voice. When my eyes focus, I'm surprised. Who the hell are we? I'm lying on an unfamiliar bed in an unfamiliar room. Is this about to be an Evangelion reference? I'm surprised, but the room is so white and clean that I feel safe. I honestly thought that was going to be an Evangelion reference. Is this Saber? Who the hell is this? It doesn't sound like Rin, I don't think. I look around. The room is big and there are many beds. I didn't even think of this. Could we be playing as Saber? That would be insane. A person is in each bed and everyone seems to be hurt. But nothing feels ill in this room. Everyone who's hurt is someone who was saved. I relax and let my eyes wander. Outside the window, the bright blue sky was unbelievably beautiful. Okay. After a few days, I finally understood. I could clearly remember what had happened in the past few days. Even so, I was no different from a newborn baby. Not just a metaphor, it was close to the truth. Dude, this is fucking Saber, isn't it? Anyway, it was a terrible fire. I'd been saved from it, was in the hospital with my body wrapped in bandages, and my parents were gone. It's a woman. I didn't get the situation, but I vaguely understood that I was alone. I think I understood quickly. Well, there was nothing but children in similar situations around me, So all I could do was absorb the fact. The thing is, this is a light, so this can't be like ancient times. And after that, that man came, right when I was beginning to worry what would happen to me next. He came on the day my bandages were taken off and I was able to eat without help. Wrinkled coat and uncombed hair. The man, a bit younger than the doctor, felt more like a big brother than a father.
こんにちは。君がシロウ君だね。
This is EMIYA? A smile that seems to melt into the white sunlight. I need to hear this fucking voice again. I think it was not the dude. I think it was a suspicious voice, but a very kind voice.
率直に聞くけど、孤児院に預けられるのと、初めて会ったおじさんに引き取られるの、君はどっちがいいかな?
That man was saying he could adopt me. When I asked him if he was a relative of mine, he said he was just a stranger. He looked like an unreliable guy with no future. It made no difference, as I knew nothing about either one, him or the orphanage. So I decided to go with him.
そうか。よかった。なら早く身支度を済ませよう。新しい家に一日でも早く慣れなくっちゃいけないからね。
Okay. The guy quickly started packing my stuff. His packing wasn't very good, even in the eyes of a child. Then, after making a big mess...
おっと、大切なことを言い忘れた。うちに来る前に、一つだけ教えなくちゃいけないことがある。
Okay. Is that okay? He turns to me lightheartedly and... Oh. Yeah, okay. He turns to me lightheartedly and says...
はじめに言っておくとね、僕は魔法使いなんだ。
Holy shit. He's one of the 5 sorcerers. He says it in a serious, exaggerated tone. It happened in an instant. Come to think of it now, I was really a child back then. I automatically believed those words.
うわ、じいさんすごいな。
Okay, I guess I could hear it. I think it's a female voice actress, but I can hear the boy in there. Guess I said so with bright eyes. It's very common in both Japan and in the US in various languages for women to voice young males or boys in animation. I said so with bright eyes, yeah. I didn't say that, but... Since that time, I became his child. Actually, I don't remember what I said back then. But my father would always talk about that day. He would remember and retell the story again and again. So for my father, EMIYA Kiritsugu, that might have been the happiest day of his life. So, guess it was strange for my father to tell me that he was a sorcerer, but I was strange as well for admiring that. And thus, I became an adopted son. And my last name became EMIYA. Oh, so that's not his actual... Yeah, so that's not his family name. That it was adopted family name. Interesting. EMIYA Shiro. When I said my name, I was really proud of having the same last name as Kiritsugu. I'm dreaming. A story from my childhood. It was when I finally convinced my father to make me a student. So it must have been about 8 years ago. So yeah, so it seems like from the sounds of it, Shiro was in fact the guy who... Shiro was the apprentice magus that Rin was referring to, which was all the more reason why she was upset about what happened in the prologue and why she saved him. And it makes sense. Like he was gonna die. He was imbued with all this magic, and that's probably part of how he was awakened, so to speak, into becoming something more. Of course, this backstory makes me wonder if there isn't a deeper stuff going on with EMIYA, especially since EMIYA is a protagonist in like this legendary visual novel. It would not be surprising if there was a lot more going on with this boy. Either way, we're gonna find out eventually. When I was old enough to stay at home by myself, Kiritsugu started to leave the house on a regular basis. He would say in his normal tone that he would travel the world and actually act on these words. That's how it was after that. So you were alone, or you didn't really have much family. It was just Kiritsugu, and even he wasn't around all that often. You were kind of on your own. It was normal for him to leave the house empty for a month, and he sometimes wouldn't come home for half a year. The EMIYA house is a big Japanese-style house, and Kiritsugu and I were the only ones living there. I was perplexed in this house at times, as it was too big for a child. But still, I liked my life here. EMIYA Kiritsugu would come home from his journeys and tell me lots of stories like a child. And the child who shared his last name would be at home waiting for those stories. Aw, that's actually kind of sad, but also cute. I was always alone in the house, but that loneliness would all fade with the stories he brought back. The father who was always chasing his dreams like a kid. Of course, I wonder if he's gonna end up being dead and, like, he left him the house, or if it's gonna be a situation where the father's just away and some crazy shit happened while he was away. Oh, by the way, Dad, I'm in the Holy Grail War now, and this is my girlfriend slash mistress slash servant, Saber. His attitude was astounding, but he always seemed dazzling to me. That might be why I wanted to be like him someday. Well, on top of that, looking at my ever-dreaming father, I felt I should become reliable myself. Now we pan to present. Oh shit. January 31st. Fate Stay Night. One day. Or I guess day one. Holy shit. Holy shit, that's new. That's fucking new. It's the same. We're starting back to January 31st because the prologue was like January 31st, February 1st, February 2nd. Oh, that's crazy. That's so cool. I'm going to save right there. Actually, I kind of wanted to save for each part, I guess, though. That's really cool, though. Nah, I'm not going to save. That's fine. That's really cool, though. I hear a sound. I hear a heavy, old, rusty sound as the door opens. Light enters the dark shed. The fuck? My mind waking up.
Senpai, 起きてますか?
Feels the cold air in the approaching footsteps. There she is. So Sakura likes Shiro, and that's kind of where this is going, and that was a big reason why Rin wanted to save. Another reason Rin wanted to save Shiro.
はい。おはようございます、先輩。
She is cute. That's a really cool CG. Sakura smiles and nods as if accustomed to this situation.
先輩、朝ですよ。まだ時間はありますけど、ここで眠っていたら藤村先生に怒られます。
そうだな。よく起こしに来てくれた。いつもすまない。
そんなことありません。先輩、いつも朝は早いですから。こんな風に起こしに来れるなんてたまにしかありません。
Sakura seems more upbeat than usual today, as if she's happy about something.
そうかな。結構桜には起こされてるぞ、俺。
I want to actually check my I can't remember if this is like my sound settings are like saved. I think they are. I think these settings do get saved. I still haven't went into editing on any of the other Fates besides that first episode, but from everything I've looked at, it looks like everything worked perfectly, so I should have no issues with Fate moving forward unless I have more crashes from random ass shit, but as far as like, I shouldn't have any issues that I had in episode 1 with the screen.
けど、藤姉には叩き起こされるから、桜の方が助かる。これに懲りずに次は頑張る。
Yeah, it's probably better to deal with it this way. I answer her with a sleepy head. I don't know what I'm saying with my mind not fully awake.
はい、わかりました。 でも頑張ってもらわない方が嬉しいです、私。
Sakura seems pretty important though, because they set her up in Rin's life, and clearly there's a pretty strong connection between Sakura and Shiro. Sakura is giggling. Guess my head was still dozing and I said something weird.
ちょっと待ってくれ。すぐ起きるから。
Oops. The cold outdoor air helps in situations like this. The chill works well to beat the sleepiness out of my head. In front of me is Mato Sakura, my junior at school. This place is a shed behind my house, and the time is 6 o'clock.
先輩、
ああ、目が覚めた。ごめんな、さくら。またやっちまった。朝の支度手伝わないといけないのに。
They like live together. Like what is their relationship actually?
そんなのいいんです。先輩、夕べも遅かったんでしょ。なら朝はゆっくりしてください。朝食の支度は私がしておきますから。
Okay. Sakura says so in a happy tone. It's unusual. Sakura really seems to be in a good mood this morning.
バカ、そういうわけにいくか。今起きるから一緒にキッチンに行こ
Fair enough.
う。よし、準備完了。それじゃあ行こう、さくら。
Interesting. Got a lot of like seemingly unfinished stuff going on over here, but
いえ、その先輩、
oh my god, is he naked or something?
なんだよ。他に何かあるのか？
Bro got morning wood?
いえ、そういうことではないんですけど、その先輩、家に戻る前に着替えた方がいいと思います。
How close was I? That said, I looked down at myself. I fell asleep while I was working, so I'm still wearing my overalls. Oh, okay. Being my work clothes, they're pretty dirty. I can't imagine what Fujini would say to me if I went into the house like this.
まだ目が覚めてないみたいだ。なんか普段に増して抜けてるな、俺。
Interesting, his work clothes.
ええ、そうかもしれませんね。ですから朝食の支度は私に任せて、先輩はもう少しゆっくりしていてください。
So
それに
Fujimura...
ほら、ここを散らかしっぱなしにしていたら藤村先生に怒られるでしょ。
So Fujimura sensei is like a sister to... So yeah, the cute teacher girl is like an older sister to him from the sounds of it, which is really interesting.
そうだな。それじゃあ着替えてから行くから、さくらは先に戻っていてくれ。
Because we did get to like meet all these characters in the prologue.
はい、お待ちしてますね、先輩。
Sakura leaves. Well, I have to change into my school uniform and clear up this mess. The shed is built on the edge of our yard, and just as it seems, it's a warehouse we put all our junk in. But for me, it's a place of treasures as I've enjoyed messing with things since I was a kid. Father didn't allow me to go into the shed, but I always sneaked in here. As a result, it became my base. For me, EMIYA Shiro, I guess you could call this place my real room. The big EMIYA household doesn't suit me, and I could only relax in this space full of junk. Yeah, I get that.
そもそももったいないじゃないか。ガラクタって言ってもまだ使えるし。
Interesting. Most of the things in here are appliances that can't be used anymore. I bring all the junk in here because I like the place, or did I come to like it here because of all the junk? Anyway, since I was always sneaking in here, it became my hobby to fix the broken things. It's not like I get attached to things. I think it just annoys me not to use things that can still be used. Just like that, I was fixing up this stove all last night.
完成は明日か。途中で寝るなんて集中力が足りない証拠だ。
I shake off the feeling of disappointment in myself. gather up the parts of the stove and put them on the shelf full of things waiting to be fixed. There are no spaces on this shelf full of things awaiting repair. An old VCR awaits after the stove. Sounds weird to say an old VCR. I mean, this is 2004. They were still, I'd say, pretty prominent, actually. I guess I'll ignore the fact that Fuji Ni broke both of them. Damn. I change into my uniform. This place is like my room, and it holds changes of clothes along with other things I need. It also has lots of blueprints and junk, the result of failures from when I do my training. There's also some kind of old design inscribed on the floor, like an altar or something. I wonder what that's about, given your dad was a sorcerer.
さて、今日も一日頑張って精進しよう。
Popping my hands in prayer to the shed, I head for the house. Alright, let's go to your actual house. Damn, that is a big house. Fuck Christ. I emerge from the shed. The EMIYA house is a Japanese-style house on the outskirts of town. My father wasn't much of a respected person in town, but he somehow still had this huge house. That on its own is a mystery, but also seems he didn't have any relatives in Japan. Well, it sounds like, I wonder if he's, like, forgotten this, or if he's grown up and he's like, ah, yeah, he was just fucking around. But it's like, I'm curious what, he was talking about how, like, he's dreaming about his past or whatever was going on, and memories of his father and stuff. Father, quote-unquote. That's why the house became mine and no one else's when my father died. Okay. Yes, so both EMIYA and Rin have dead dads. Though, to be honest, I don't have that kind of management ability. Old man Fujimura is in charge of complicated things like inheritance and property taxes. Old man Fujimura is the big landlord in this neighborhood. According to father, the old man's like a Yakuza boss. Of course, this is just prejudice. He's not like a Yakuza boss. He is a Yakuza boss. Let's go! Shoutouts to old man Fujimura. Well, that's a problem in itself, but I prefer to ignore it. Yeah, we're just chilling. It's certainly true that he's energetic and scary, but he's actually not that bad of a person. I mean, given the fact that, you know, at the time I'm recording this, well, I guess I've already finished that. I recently finished that visual novel, but I am playing I have another visual novel that at least is currently being posted when I'm recording this. By the time this goes up, I imagine that VN will be done, but I am... the other VN I was recently playing does have a quote-unquote ultimate Yakuza. It really helps me, as he pays a lot when I tune up the motorcycle he likes to ride. Anyway, that's why I'm the only one living in this big house. It's been 5 years since father died. The days have passed quickly. I'm thinking about how much I've grown in those 5 years. I've trained every day to be like Kiritsugu, but it's not that easy in reality. It's natural because I had no talent to begin with, but what can be said about having no improvement at all in 5 years? To sum up the present in one sentence, my goal is so far away that I'm not even at the starting line yet, which is going to be very ironic when in sometime in the next 2 days, you're going to get fucking Saber and be in the fucking Holy Grail War. No, I guess it won't do any good to rush. Oh boy, you have no idea what's coming for you. For now, I have to do what I can. Well then, right now I should... Ooh, Mike, why are we already making choices? Oh, I hate this. Oh, I actually hate this. Oh, I actually hate this. Oh, this is terrifying. I actually have no idea. Oh, what the hell? Oh, no. I don't know what this means. I'll go and help Sakura. Oh, I hate this. I actually... See, even though, like, it's really cool, and I think narratively it's cool that there's choices, I hate the fact that there's choices. That's right. I have to go and help Sakura. I'd feel bad, both for letting my junior do all the work, and for Sakura coming here so early in the morning. But I'm too late. Seems breakfast has already been made. I can smell the elegant scent of breakfast befitting Sakura. Sakura's finished cooking and is opening the cupboards. I could see all she has left to do is set the table.
めんぼくない。せめて食器の用意ぐらいはやるから、さくらは座っててくれ。
もう来ちゃったんですか、先輩。
That's adorable, by the way.
もうじゃないぞ。6時10分って言ったら朝飯を食ってる時間じゃないか。完全に寝坊だよ。
Fair enough.
そんなことはないと思いますよ。先輩は部活をしていないんですから、この時間は十分に早起きです。
Fair enough.
部活は関係ない。それを言ったら朝練があるさくらがうちに来てくれるのも問題じゃないか。
Okay.
いえ、私は好きでしていることですから、部活のことは気にしないでください。
ああ、それは何度も聞いた。だから俺も部活に関係なく早起きしてるんだ。さくらが来てくれるならその時間には起きてないと失礼だろ。
For me, waking up early is waking up before Sakura gets here, and sleeping in is making Sakura prepare breakfast on her own, like today. Though this has only been a habit for a year and a half or so.
ともかくさくらは休んでろよ。あとは並べるだけなんだから、それぐらい俺にやらせてくれ。
I stand next to Sakura and take out the dishes. Sakura is stubborn at times, and in situations like this, she won't rest unless she's forced to.
なら私もお手伝いします。お皿には私が盛りますから、先輩はお茶碗を出してください。
Sure, why not?
いや、だから全部こっちでやるからいいってば。
Or be stubborn. She just wants to help as much as possible. She just doesn't want you to worry yourself, Shiro.
いけません。先輩はお家の主人なんですから、朝くらいはドーンと構えていてください。
So I'm assuming he lets a few other people stay here in order to, because obviously it's a huge house, and like probably lets them stay here for free, and you know, or in exchange they help him with whatever. There has some working arrangement with Sakura and Fujimura Sensei, who, I mean, given her name Fujimura, I guess is probably the daughter of a literal Yakuza boss. Very interesting, though.
ドーンと構えろって。さくら一人に働かせてのんびりしている主人なんて家主失格だぞ。いいからさくらは今に行ってろって。
That's probably a good way to look at it, I would say. It's interesting too that our like main characters, Rin and Shiro, both literally own these like giant fucking houses to themselves because like their fathers had giant ass houses they left them and died.
はい、ぜひ失格してください。これいつも美味しいご飯を食べさせてもらっているお返しなんです。だからできれば先輩にはゆっくりしていてほしいです。
Damn, that's certainly the most savage thing Sakura has said in this show so far. God damn it, in this game, novel, whatever you want to call it.
食費だったら折半なんだからさくらが気にすることじゃない。感謝なんて言ったら俺がしたいぐらいだ。さくらが来てくれるようになってから飯が豪勢になったからな。
Fair enough.
やっぱり先輩分かってなかったんですね。先輩のお家のご飯が美味しいのはそういうことじゃないんです。
You about to say something really gay, Sakura?
そういうことじゃないってどういうことだ？
いえ、なんでもありません。けど責任取ってくださいね。私先輩の家じゃないとご飯を美味しくいただけなくなっちゃったんですから。
So in other words, she puts her pussy juices into the food. That's why it tastes so good. Shiro, if you couldn't translate what she just said, that's the proper translation of what she said. And you know, if you think I'm wrong, don't forget. Let's not forget, okay?
バカ、おかしなこと言うな。
True.
藤姉に聞かれたらどうするんだ。あの人には冗談なんて通じないんだから。
Well, what if Sakura's not joking?
そうですね。藤村先生に聞かれたら大変です。
Enter Fujimura sensei immediately right now.
まったくだ。あんまりおかしなこと言うな。
Dude, it's okay. Have you ever thought the alternative is that Sakura wants that dick?
はい、言いません。言いませんからお手伝いしていいですよね、先輩。
Sakura looks up at me naturally and calmly.
いいよ、好きにしろ。そんなにやりたきゃさくらに任せる。
I mean, that's literally what she wanted. She wanted you to just accept her help and just chill.
はい、好きにします、私。
Yeah. And she was probably gonna do so regardless of your opinion on that.
まったく、本当に最近言うこと聞かなくなったよな、さくら。
Nope! And then she sticks out her tongue.
ですね。藤村先生に似てきたのかもしれません。
Oh no. There's two boss bitches around here now. You're done, Shiro. I say you're done now, but just wait until the real mistress that ironically is your servant shows up. Speaking softly, Sakura reaches up for the cupboard. I mean, because when Saber comes up, her class is literally Saber. Like, see, with Sakura, at least you're still gonna get to fuck her, but with Saber, she's gonna fuck you. And, her saber's bigger than yours. That's all I gotta say there, Shiro. I'm sure there's an insane amount of fan art that confirms this as well. Her silky hair and smooth skin catch my eye. And then right away, look at, yeah, I guess it is the morning. Maybe I wasn't wrong about that morning wood. Oh, yeah. How can I put this? It's troubling. What the hell? She must be maturing as she seems really feminine these days. Okay, that just makes it sound weird, bro. Her casual movements and her figure are so beautiful that I instinctively look away. Damn, he's down bad. He really is gonna get dominated by Saber. As if that wasn't obvious.
先輩、どうかしましたか?
Yeah, Sakura is really cute. Her voice is very cutesy, very anime cutesy, which isn't like the most attractive thing ever, but like her, she looks really nice.
いや、どうもしてない。どうもしてないから気にしないでくれ。
Sure. Honestly, why am I feeling tense around my friend's sister? After all, Sakura is not like that. Interesting. So you're friends with Shinji then. I'm curious to see what that relationship's like. She's a good underclassman and a junior I need to take care of. First of all, the relationship between me and Mato Sakura is just that of a senpai and a junior. She's the sister of a close friend of mine. But since she's a grade below me, we weren't that close. I really have no idea. I don't know, I have no idea what the H scenes actually refer to other than obviously they're H scenes. But I'm just guessing because there was a choice there to hang out with Sakura, so maybe we are progressing towards titties or something. I don't know. I really don't. I'm so concerned about that, to be honest. I'm kind of excited, but I'm more concerned. It all changed a year and a half ago in this cooperative kind of relationship. Sakura came to cook when I was injured, and after that, I think we just ended up like this. I think we intended to do it until my injury healed, but some trivial thing came up to make her stay with it. Anyways, Sakura's a good cook and perfect at cleaning and doing the laundry. Okay, so she's the perfect housewife. I see what you're saying here, Shiro. So you just want a traditional housewife. Saber's gonna turn you into a traditional housewife. It's a big help to have her helping around here in the mornings, but it's been a bit troubling recently when my morning wood starts acting on its own. Problem is not in Sakura, but me, exactly. Oh my god. They just keep giving us the Sakura shots. That's actually, I love the lighting on this shot, actually. Very cool. Frankly, Sakura is beautiful. She's one of the best looking first years, and I'm sure there are a lot of guys who want to date her. On top of that, she's been growing in certain places recently, and some of her casual gestures have started to catch my eye. That's what I mean by a small problem. Oh, a small problem, eh? Man, maybe you really are gonna get dominated by Saber if you only have a small problem, because I guarantee you Saber's problem isn't small. Maybe I'm just feeling guilty about being attracted to my friend's sister. Usually I'm fine, but when I'm caught off guard like just now, I blush. Does this make me an unsuitable senpai? I mean, it's good that you're even thinking about that. That shows character. Breakfast is placed on the table. So I assume that's where the scene ends of what I picked, as opposed to whatever other scene I would have got. Maybe a scene with Fujimura-sensei. A perfect breakfast consisting of chicken salad, cooked salmon, spinach, radish, and carrots miso soup, and yam soup. Probably go without the yam soup. Not sure if I would like this, radish and carrot miso soup. I probably would. Oops. Sorry about that. You guys probably see that. I could pull up these guys here. I might as well show you guys. Sorry. I actually forgot about that. But yeah, I mean, chicken salad, that sounds great. Cooked salmon, that sounds great. Yeah, I mean, yam soup, I'm not sure about that, but everything else sounds good.
Itadakimasu.
Itadakimasu! Sakura and I bow and start our meal quickly. The sounds of our chopsticks echo. I finally have a rice cooker. Which is really cool. I just think, I mean, there's no rice in this dish, but, you know, Japan, so relevant. Which is really nice, because it's... Basically, I'm having rice more, and it's good rice. Sakura isn't the talkative type, and I'm not versatile enough to talk while eating. Fair enough. Naturally, meal times are quiet. Usually it's louder, but today the loud person is... There she is. She must have been watching spy movies last night as she's eyeing us while hiding behind a newspaper. Oh my god.
藤村先生、ご飯時に新聞は見ない方がいいと思いますよ。
Fujini ignores Sakura's question. She's acting weird, but Fujini always acts in suspicious ways during breakfast. Sakura must be used to it as she continues to eat with no particular care. Sakura prefers to make Western foods. She learned to cook Japanese food after she started coming here to help. Fujini and I prefer Japanese, so Sakura learned to make Japanese food for her breakfast. I mean... Besides, like, the soups, like the miso soup, I mean, I wouldn't really call chicken salad or cooked salmon very Japanese. I guess the difference is that fish for breakfast is not very common in the West. We would normally have fish for, it would traditionally be dinner. I suppose it could be lunch, but it's not common to have fish for breakfast, whereas it's much more common to have fish for breakfast in Japan. I love fish, pretty much of all kinds, so like even though I don't really eat breakfast much in general, but like I had fish a lot when I was for like breakfast or whatever when I was there, because I won't get too much into the week I spent in Japan, but yeah, I mean it was basically like a buffet bar thing that we basically would have for like breakfast, and I think I had for like dinner once or as well when, you know, it just was a crazy busy day or whatever. I tried to have all different types of food and stuff though, but I didn't really have anything too crazy though. Now she's so good that she's almost surpassed me, her teacher. Oh, so you can cook fairly well then. That's good to hear. The salmon is especially good as it's cooked to perfection. I love salmon. Her miso soup is tasty. I love miso soup too. And she has shown some capacity even for making yam soup by grinding yams. Yeah, now that, I've never had yam soup. I don't really like yams, but I've never had yam soup. Actually, I think this is the first time she's made it.
悪い、さくら、醤油取って。
Yep.
はい。大変です、先輩。先輩のお醤油は昨日で切れてます。
Okay.
じゃあ藤姉のでいいや。取って。
藤村先生、いいですか？
Fujini nods. Her newspaper trembles. What the fuck is she doing?
はいどうぞ。とろろ汁に使うんですか？
ああ、とろろには醤油だろう、普通。
I put the soy sauce onto the white yam soup. After stirring it, I put it on the rice and take a bite. Okay, there was rice. Okay. The stickiness of the yam and the taste of the soy sauce.
うわ、まずこれソースだぞ、ソース。しかもオイスター。
Oh, oyster sauce, wow. I can only think of like one dish I use oyster sauce for. I do have it though. I almost throw it back up. Jesus Christ, it's that bad? Wow, Fujimura Sensei fucking pranking us. What the hell? That explains her attitude. Oh my god. That's adorable, actually, though. Holy crap. Fujini throws her newspaper away. I already love Fujimura Sensei. She was cute when we got to meet her with Rin, but this is great.
どうだ、朝のうちにソースとお醤油のラベルを取り替えておく作戦なのだ。
What the fuck? Is she like a prankster? The female spy throws up her arms to show her happiness.
朝っぱらから何考えてんだあんたは。今年で25のくせにいつまで経っても藤姉は藤姉だな。
Okay, well that confirms it. I love the theme too.
ふんだ、昨日の恨み思い知ったか。みんなと一緒になってお姉ちゃんをいじめるやつには当然の天罰ってところかしら。
Divine justice, huh?
天罰ってのは人為的なもんじゃないだろう。なんかおとなしいと思ったら昨日からこんなこと考えてやがったのか。
Of course.
暇人。
Of course, there was always a nefarious plan afoot. God, this is like so fun and lighthearted. And given the prologue, we already know that in the next 48 hours or so, or I guess not 48 hours, but in the next, like, certainly in less than 72 hours, this guy's gonna, like, die, nearly die, get brought back, and then nearly die again, and then summon Saber, however it goes down. Like, this guy's gonna go through some harrowing shit very soon.
そうだよ、おかげでこれから急いでテストの採点しなくちゃいけないんだから。そういうわけで急がないとやばいのだ。
Jesus Christ, you want to talk about energetic, holy shit. Fujini sits back down and finishes her breakfast quickly.
はい、ごちそうさま。朝ごはん今日も美味しかったよ、さくらちゃん。
はい、お粗末様でした、先生。
それじゃ先に行くわね。二人とも遅刻したら怒るわよ。
Of course. And she runs off, and Sakura is like, God damn, what a crazy bitch. She ruined my yam soup by baiting you into putting oyster sauce into it. There's something wrong with the world in which that thing is a teacher. Holy shit, Shiro, what a savage. Good God, what a fucking line. There's something wrong with a world in which that thing is a teacher. Very quite possibly so, but what the fuck, bro? That's hilarious, though.
先輩。
すまない。せっかくの朝食だっていうのに藤姉のやつ。
Oops, sorry.
そういうのではなくて、昨日藤村先生に何かしたんですか？食べ物に細工するなんて藤村先生にしてはやりすぎですから。
Yeah, that is, I mean, that's not, I don't know, that seems like a pretty harmless prank, all things considered. It was pretty funny, to be honest, but, I don't know, I would probably be, honestly, not many things piss me off, but, like, I honestly think, like, pranks are fucking so fucking, like, just stupid. The fact that people do them at all. Like, that was pretty harmless, but, oh man, that actually, just the thought of it in general, it just annoys me to no end. That's like some of the worst content on YouTube, by the way. Holy shit. It's an epidemic. Luckily, it's not as popular as it used to be, but holy shit. I've been on this platform way too long.
いや、それがさ、昨日ついあだ名で呼んじまった。
Oh, you called her Fujini, like in class?
それじゃあ仕方ありませんね。先輩、藤村先生に謝らなかったんでしょう。
Yeah, that I could see that being very awkward, especially in class. I'm assuming that's what they're referring to.
面目ない。いつものことなんで忘れてた。
ダメですよ。藤村先生、先輩にあだ名を言われるのだけは嫌がるんですから。また泣かせちゃったんでしょう。
泣かした上にダットのごとく走り去らせた。おかげで昨日の英語は自習だった。
Jesus. And I was awarded a student honor written on note paper, but I threw it away.
もう、それじゃあ、今朝のは先輩が悪いです。
I suppose that would be all your fault, but I mean, it's kind of also Fujimura Sensei's fault for being so soft, but Fujini is like a big sister for Sakura, so she's basically on Fujini's side. That's good in its own way, but I wish she'd consider my situation where I have to deal with Fujini 24/7. Fujini was originally an acquaintance of father's, and she's been coming to the house a lot since I was adopted. She started to show up even more after father died, and she's now almost a dependent, eating breakfast and dinner here. No, maybe she's why I was able to make it on my own even after my father died. Damn. Fujini, Sakura, and I are now the residents of the EMIYA household. Interesting. But I'm the only one who knows that my father was a magus. Okay, now you're bringing that up. And nice to actually have confirmation that you do, in fact, remember. Because the way you were talking about working and not getting anywhere towards your goal and all that stuff was interesting, but it's sad that magi must hide their identities. That's why I've been hiding the fact that I'm learning magic ever since I became my father's student. Yep. I say I'm learning, but I can't even cast a single magic spell properly. With this kind of a skill, it wouldn't make much difference whether I hide it or not, because it was how my father wanted things. I've trained secretly since then. So I wonder if the one apprentice Rin was talking about was EMIYA or not. It might not have even been EMIYA, because from the sounds of it, it's like she wouldn't even have. He was so weak that maybe she didn't even know. I finished breakfast and prepare for school. But it makes more sense why she was thinking of Sakura so much, because she would know the situation with EMIYA and Sakura then, probably. Also, this is a really interesting song. I cleaned the dishes with Sakura while listening to the news on TV. Sakura is staring at the TV screen. Over the screen runs an exaggerated teletype reading, "Gas leak accidents continue." It seems there was a big accident in the neighboring town of Shinto. It happened in a building in the business district. It seems a whole floor of people ran out of oxygen and fell unconscious. Well, doesn't that sound a lot like the boundary, what's it called? The boundary? Is it called the boundary spell? You guys know what I'm talking about, but it's the thing that Rin discovered in the school last time. They've called it a gas leak, but this kind of accident is happening often recently. Yeah, they're trying to collect souls.
今のニュース気になるのか、さくら。
No, she's rightfully so, given...
いえ、別に。ただ、事故がシントで起きているなら近いなって。先輩、シントの方でアルバイトしていますよね。
Okay, so he has a job. Interesting.
してるけど、別にそんな大きな店じゃないよ。今のニュースみたいな事故は起きないと思う。
She's worried about you, though. But it's not a risk I can completely ignore. Gas leaks can happen in any building, and on top of that, it hurts to think that hundreds of people are suffering. It's said that the accidents are happening often because of defective construction work during the rapid development of Shinto. And that's certainly a good, convenient excuse. Whether that's true or not, I certainly don't want any more victims.
物騒な話だ。 俺たちも気をつけないと。
True.
それならご心配なく先輩。ガスの元栓はいつも2回チェックしてますから安心です。
Fair enough. Sakura boasts with pride.
いや、そういう話でなくて。
Yeah, I've thought so before, but Sakura's a bit off too.
先輩、
Alright, they're going to
裏
school.
手の戸締まりはしました？
したよ。缶抜きかけたけど問題あるか？
ありません。それじゃあ鍵かけますね。先輩、今日のお帰りは何時ですか？
少し遅くなると思う。さくらは？
私はいつも通りです。多分私の方が早いと思いますから、夕食の下準備は済ませておきますね。
Damn, this girl actually is a fucking waifu. Holy shit. Like, I was kind of half joking about the housewife thing, but man, like, she really is. Holy shit.
うん、助かる。俺もできるだけ早く帰るよ。
I love how you just say, I'll try to come home early too, when you literally just said, I think I'll be a bit late. We locked the gate. Sakura and Fujini also have keys to my house, and the rule is that the last person out locks up.
行こうか。急がないと朝練に間に合わない。
それじゃあ少しだけ急ぎましょうか、先輩。
This is really nice, but it's interesting because what the game has done with the prologue with Rin and now this with Shiro is we've started the game a second time. So we've now once again like gone back to the beginning, literally back, you know, a couple days to January 31st. And it's weird because that like more relaxed tone feels like it started again. And to be fair, comparatively between Rin and Shiro, Shiro has an even more relaxed tone because he actually has like like deeper human relations with people, and he lives with some people, and it's all nice and fun. Because with Rin, we were getting a lot of backstory on the universe and mages and all the shit that involved with this. This is even more relaxed and fun, so I have even less to talk about. I'm actually really worried. That's honestly one of the things I am a little worried about with this LP is that I'm not saying enough about like my thoughts on things as it happens. But hopefully you guys still enjoy it and are having fun and just enjoying going through Fate again, because I imagine all of you, or most of you at least, have read Fate before. For those of you, maybe some of you have watched the anime but have never read all the anime content but have never actually read the VN. And maybe some of you are on this journey with me for the first time. For any of you guys, I hope you have fun with it, but... We walked down to the town together. That sounded kind of weird, but I guess it works. Passing the long wall and going downhill, we reached the residential district. My house is on top of the hill, far away from the center of town. Going down the hill takes us to the residential district, and beyond that... Yeah, we've seen this before. We reach the crossroads at the center of this town. The crossroads between the Japanese-style housings, where you are, and the Western-style housings, where Rin is. From here, there are many roads. A big bridge leading to the neighboring city. A hill road that leads to Ryoto Temple. The residential district on the other side of town. All these shots we've seen before, or most of them at least. The shopping district Sakura and I always use. And the school we're headed to right now. All the places you can go to throughout the game, in other words. We head for the school without stopping elsewhere. We don't talk much as we walk up the hill. Since it's still 7 o'clock, there aren't many others on the road. Other than us, all you can see are a few others heading to their morning practices.
それじゃあまたな。部活頑張れよ。
And we're back at school. There it is again. I part with Sakura at the school gate like usual. Sakura is in the archery club, so we have to part here in the mornings. But today, Sakura doesn't go.
さくら、体の調子悪いのか？
いえ、 そういうことじゃなくて、先輩、たまには道場の方に寄っていきませんか？
Sure, why not?
いや別に道場に用はないぞ。
Oh,
それに今日は一斉に頼まれてるから生徒会室に行かないとまずい。
I wanted to say this is yeah. I think yeah. He was with Issei when when Rin ran into him, and that was where Rin got that little glimpse of him. And I
そうですよね。ごめんなさい。余計なことを言っちゃって。
damn, bro, you passed down the chance to tap that. I mean, what? Sakura bows. I'm making these jokes partially because they might even be true, because, you know, I don't know how many times I have to make this gag, but, like, it's there.
それじゃあ失礼します。
Oops.
晩ご飯楽しみにしていてくださいね。
Yeah, I'm sure it'll be really good, whatever you make. Sakura runs off like she's ashamed of something. Yeah, she was thinking about... She wanted a quickie before school. God. I wonder what that was all about. Yeah, I wonder, you freaking brain-dead protagonist. Okay. Oh,
一斉いるか？
this is a new room.
いるぞ。
Yep.
今朝は少し遅かったな、エミヤ。
There's Issei. He must have been studying as Issei looks up from the paper he's reading.
一斉だけか。他の連中はどうしたんだ？この時間なら登校しててもおかしくないだろ
いや、あいにくとうちのメンバーはビジネスライクでね。
Okay.
働く時間帯はきっかり決まっていて、早出と残業はしたくないのだそうだ。
う。それで生徒会長自らが雑用か。ここはここで大変そうだな。
Fair enough.
なに、好きでしている苦労だ。エミヤに同情してもらうのは筋が違う。
I mean, if you say so, mate.
いや、一斉に同情なんてしてないぞ。
それはそれで無念だが、聞き流すとしよう。情が移っているということでは同じだからな。
I mean, it also shows that, Shiro's got, even though he's not in any clubs, he still is active in school beyond just his classes. Issei, who is organizing the papers he was reading, is the big boss of this student council room. He's the guy trying his best to reform this lax student council, and he's been a friend of mine since first year. His full name is Ryodo Issei. Despite his old-fashioned name, he has elegant features, and he's really popular with the girls. Yeah, I could see that. He gives me student council president, glasses, cool hair. I mean, he's just got a cool-looking vibe in general. And he's also the student council president, so you'd think he'd take to it like a duck to water, but...
やはり朝は舌がしびれるほどの熱湯が良い。
Yeah, hot tea's not bad. I just never have tea. I had tea a little while ago, not too long ago actually, and it was like the first time I had, literally first time I had tea since I was in Japan, unironically, which was like, what, like, God, how long ago was that now? Probably over 3 years ago now. He's just sipping tea like this, so he's not that firm. As you can see, Issei has a plain personality. He's easily misunderstood, but he doesn't involve himself in love affairs nor engage in normal student recreations. It's because he's the successor of the Ryodo Temple up in the mountains, which I think we saw a little tiny shot of when he was showing the different places, but we have not been there yet. He's fine with that idea, so there's a good chance he'll shave his head when he graduates.
それで、今日は何をするんだ？
Okay.
ああ、まあともかく座って一服と言いたいのだが、時間がないな。移動がてら説明をするゆえ、いつもの道具を持ってついてきてくれ。
Alright, that sounds interesting enough. Let's go.
率直に言うとな、うちの学校、金のバランスが極端なんだよ。
Of course it is.
知ってる。運動系がひいきされてるもんで他に予算がいかないんだろ。
Well, I mean, to be fair, I feel like that's pretty normal with schools in general. Although they're not really like in the West, they're not considered clubs. Like everything's a club in Japan. Whereas, I guess you could almost argue it's even worse in America because, like, the teams, like the sports, are usually considered like they're kind of like a priority of the school, whereas the clubs are kind of just pieced together. There's usually no money from the school for the clubs for the most part. It's just whatever, the students put together themselves along with whoever, whatever, if there's any teachers that are involved or whatever the case may be. It's all kind of just, you do it because you want to do it. Whereas, the sports teams obviously do have a lot of resources from the school.
結果文化系の部員は絶えず不遇の扱いでな。
I mean, that's pretty vague. What do you mean trouble?
今年から文化系に予算が行くよう尽力しているのだが、予算の流れが不鮮明でうまく回っていない。
Fair
おか
enough.
げで未だ文化系の物質は不遇でな。特に冬のストーブ不足に関しては打開策がまるでない。
そうか。あ、マイナスドライバーくれ。一番大きいやつな。あと動線も。これぐらいならなんとか。
So he's like a mechanic of some type, or like a technical, like kind of why can't I think of the word? Not mechanic, a wire, why can't I think of the word? I'm thinking of like different, like it's not a plumber, not a mechanic. I can't think of the word. Holy shit. You got an engineer, like an electrical engineer almost or something. It's very interesting.
動線？これか。すまん。よくわからん。
Aww, that's cute.
間違っていたら叱ってくれ。
当たってるからいいよ。で、ストーブ不足がどうしたって？ここ以外にも故障してんのがあんのか？
That's the thing, he doesn't know.
ある。
Oh.
第二視聴覚室と美術部の暖房器具が怪しいそうだ。新品購入願いの嘆願書が刻一刻と増えている。
Interesting.
けど予算にそんな余裕はないと。やっぱり劣化してるだけだな。中がイかれてなくて助かった。
治りそうか、エミヤ。
治るよ。こういう時古いやつは分かりやすくていい。
Fair enough.
配線系のショートだから新しいのに変えればとりあえず今年いっぱいは頑張ってくれる。
That's epic.
そうか。やるな、エミヤ。お前が頼りになると極めて嬉しいぞ。
Nice. I'm always so pleased when you're reliable. Not that you're always reliable, but when you are reliable, I am quite pleased.
おかしな日本語使うね、伊勢。
Yeah, that's kind of what I just commented on there, Shiro.
もう少しで済むからちょっと外に出ててくれ。
Maybe I should be calling him EMIYA, because like I said, like, we mostly referred to Tosaka Rin as Rin, so I was kind of thinking we'd mainly be referring to EMIYA Shiro as Shiro, but so far we've mainly been going with EMIYA, so maybe I'm gonna go with EMIYA for the time being.
エミヤの邪魔はせん。
Sounds good. Issei leaves the room quietly. It seems he assumes that I'm going to do something delicate.
いや、デリケートといえばデリケートなんだけど。
You could do it while like it's not a problem. I place my hand on the old electric heater. Usually, even if you're used to fixing things, it's hard to figure out what's wrong with it just by looking at it. So the fact that I figured it out means what I'm doing is not ordinary. I block off my vision and look inside the heater with my sense of touch. In that moment, an image appears in my head. Whoa.
電
Whoa!
熱線が断線しかかってるのが2つと、電熱管はまだ持つな。電源コードの方は絶縁テープでなんとかなる。
Oh. Well, I guess maybe you do have a little magic after all. What the fuck? Good. I can fix this with the tools I have with me. Pipe were broken, it couldn't be fixed by an amateur. If that had been the case, I would have had to strengthen it in a very unamateurish way. But in this case, just looking at it will suffice. That is the magic EMIYA Shiro learned from Kiritsugu.
よし、始めるか。
Okay. Take the cover off and start to work. I already know where it's broken, so the rest is easy.
これだけは得意なんだけどな、俺。
Okay. That's right. EMIYA Shiro has no talent for magic. Though it doesn't make up for it, I think I'm quite skilled at visualizing structures like I did just now. I'm wondering how that talent's gonna come into play with the Holy Grail War in combat once he, has Saber on his side. If at all. I imagine it will, though. In fact, when I first figured out a structure and reproduced it, my father looked surprised and said, "What a useless ability." I guess my strong point isn't a useful ability. According to my father, it's already a waste of effort to perceive the structure with my eyes. For real Magus, there's no need to understand every corner of a structure like I just did, but I'm sure he's gonna find a use for it. They say that the battle of the Magus comes in reading the center, the core of things instantaneously, and changing it faster than anything else. That's why reading the structure is a wasted effort, as even if you do understand the structure, all you could do is determine where magical energy could be more easily transmitted. Interesting. But the preciseness of what he's able to, of being able to perceive the structure is obviously going to benefit EMIYA in some way. So all in all, it turns out that my strong point is just in fixing things like this. I don't have to open them up to look for damage. If I can quickly search for broken parts and have the skills to repair them, most things can be fixed. Though, that's only the case for simple things that can be fixed with amateur knowledge.
よし、終わり。次に行くか。
Alright, we can do it again with something else. I pack away the conducting wire that I used and go out into the hallway with screwdriver and wrench in hand. Interesting, though.
伊勢、修理終わったぞ。
But in the hallway is someone else apart from Issei, a girl. This is Rin. This is Rin. Hello, Rin! It's good to see you, girl. I'm a bit surprised. Person talking to Issei is Tosaka Rin from Class 2A. Yeah, we've seen this same scene from the opposite perspective. She's a lady who lives in a big mansion on top of the hill. A perfect honor student. Good-looking, smart, athletic, and faultless. She's intelligent, well-mannered, and modest about her looks. People say she's the ideal woman. I mean, she is my favorite character in this game so far, so... It hardly needs to be said that the guys at my school treat her like an idol. I mean, she does look pretty nice. Though in Tosaka's case, she's so perfect that she's considered unreachable. I mean, she also kinda does that to herself on purpose. It's commonly believed that only teachers and guys like Issei can even talk to her. Well, to be honest, I'm a guy too. So I'm one of Tosaka Rin's admirers. Nice. Tosaka looks at us as if she's in a bad mood. It seems to be true that she and Issei don't get along.
と、悪い。頼んだのはこっちなのに、エミヤに任せっきりにしてしまった。許せ。
Wow. Issei's an amazing man, talking like that and ignoring Tosaka.
そんなこと気にするな。で、次はどこだよ。あんまり時間ないぞ。
ああ、次は視聴覚室だ。前から調子が悪かったそうなんだが、この度ついに天寿を全うされた。
So it's been on its last limbs for a while and it finally just conked out.
天寿全うしてたら直せないだろ。買い直した方が早いぞ。
そうなんだが、一応見てくれると助かる。俺から見れば臨終だが、お前から見れば仮病かもしれん。
That's an interesting way to put it. And that's a very ironic way to put it, too.
そうか。なら試そう。
There's only about 30 minutes left until homeroom. I'll have to hurry if I'm going to fix it. Interesting. I start for the AV room with Issei. Is Rin gonna... But it's impolite to ignore her completely when we met like this. I turn back to Tosaka, who's standing in a daze.
朝早いんだな、トサカ。
Huh? I make an honest comment, then follow Issei. Interesting. Just that tiny little
ギリギリ間
interaction.
に合ったか。すまんなエミヤ。また苦労をかけた。頼み事をした上に遅刻させては友人失格だ。
That's really interesting, that tiny little interaction, and that's probably the only interaction that Rin and EMIYA are gonna have until, you know, the shit happens. Also, actually... Oh yeah, it's called First Day, Recollection of 10 Years Ago, Morning Rebirth. Okay, so this is just called First Day. Like, this is the prologue, and now we're in First Day. Okay. Yeah, first choice was my comment. Yeah, I'm probably gonna try to save at every choice, and then where we end the episode, of course. But yeah, thanks for not making me late. Thanks for making me almost late.
別に気にするな。俺が遅刻する分には大したことじゃないだろ。ま、一星が遅刻するのは問題だけど。
Yeah, I suppose given that he's the student council president, it would look bad.
もっともだ。いや、間に合ってよかった。
Issei heads to his seat, relieved. It's exactly 8 o'clock. The first homeroom bell is rung, so Fujini should be here in about 5 minutes. I'm a bit out of breath since we ran here from the AV room. Taking a deep breath, I head to my seat.
朝から騒がしいねエミヤ。部活を辞めてから何をしてるかと思えば竜道の太鼓持ち。僕には関係ないけどさ、うちの評判を落とすようなことはしないでよね。
God damn it.
なんていうか節操ないからさ。
Why are you always such an asshole, even though I kinda low-key love you because you're such an asshole? But what the fuck, bro? Nice to see Shinji again. Mato's Shinji, a friend of mine from middle school, is standing in front of my seat. As you can tell from his last name, he's Sakura's brother, who's 1 year older than her.
よ、弓道部は落ち着いてるか、シンジ。
Yeah, it seems like it's doing okay from what we could gather from Rin's perspective of these days.
当然だろ。部外者に話してもしょうがないけど、目立ちたがり屋が一人減ったんで平和になったんだ。次の大会だっていいところまで行くさ。
What a savage. It's also interesting that that EMIYA used to be in the archery club. He didn't end up with Archer though.
そうか。三綴りも頑張ってるんだな。
はあ？何見当違いなこと言ってんの？弓道部が記録を伸ばしてるのは僕がいるからに決まってるじゃんか。エミヤさ、とっくに部外者なんだから知ったような口を叩くと恥をかくよ。
Yeah, that was really savage, just mentioning Ayako like she's the goat, because she is. I want to see her again. That's a character we have not seen since like the very beginning of the prologue.
そうか。気をつけよう。もっとも弓道部に用はないから関わることはないけどな。
Put my bag on the desk and pull out the chair.
何それ？僕の弓道部には興味がないってこと？
I mean, it's not really your archery club.
興味じゃなくて用だよ。部外者なんだからおいそれと道場に行くの変だろう。
Dude, Shinji is like such a jealous motherfucker. I love it.
けど、なんかあったら言ってくれ。手伝えることがあったら手伝う。弦張りとか弓の直し、シンジは苦手だったろ。
Damn savage. It's funny because his name is Shinji, but Asuka might be a more fitting name for this boy. Ba-dum-tsh.
そう、サンキュー。何か雑用があったら声をかけるよ。
I mean, to be fair, apparently EMIYA is Mr. Fix-It in this school, so I guess that does make sense.
ま、そんなことはないだろうけどさ。
Alright, if you say so, bro.
ああ、それがいい。雑用を残しているようなやつは首相失格だからな。あんまり藤村先生を困らせるなよ。あの人、怒ると本気で怖いぞ。
I mean, yeah, she literally goes full psycho mode and replaces your soy sauce with oyster sauce. Or I guess empties yours and then replaces hers so that you use hers. So it's like, it's a whole process.
余計なお世話だ。ともかくお前はもう部外者なんだから道場に近づくなよ。
Shinji returns to his seat in his usual manner. He seems even more irritated than usual today.
ふざけたやつだ。自分からエミヤを追い出しておいて、よくもあんな口が聞ける。
I mean, that pretty much sounds like Shinji in a nutshell. Like, Sakura got all the kindness, and Shinji got all the asshole in that in the genes of that family.
なんだ伊勢、いたのか。
なんだとはなんだ。気を利かして聞き耳を立てていた友人に向かって、なんと冷淡な男だお前は。
Wow. I mean, to be fair, we literally just came in here, and like I just like finished addressing you, and Shinji popped up and started talking shit to you. So why are you surprised that I was chilling with you, bro?
なんで気を利かすのさ。俺一斉に心配されるようなことをしてないぞ。
I want your dick, bro. I mean, what? Huh?
たわけ、心配もするわ。エミヤはカッとなりやすいからな。真珠に殴りかかれば皆は喝采を送るが、女どもからは非難の嵐だ。友人をそんな微妙な立場に置くのはよろしくない。
I mean, to be fair, I think the only girl whose opinion EMIYA really cares about is ironically Shinji's sister, and I don't know how Sakura would feel if EMIYA beat the shit out of Shinji. I mean, he will care a lot about what Mommy Saber has to say, but again, we're not quite there yet.
そっか。言われてみればそうだ。ありがとう、伊勢。そんなことにはならないだろうけど、今の心配はありがたい。
わかればよろしい。だが意外だったぞ。エミヤは怒りやすいくせにマトウには寛大なんだな。
Probably because you want to fuck his sister.
ああ、あれはシンジの味だからな。付き合いが長いと慣れてくる。
I mean, that is a fair point, though, because from the sounds of it, he's a lot more familiar with Shinji. He's actually known Shinji a lot longer, and that's the thing. There's a part of him that even wonders if he feels jealous of, or if he feels guilty about kind of having an attraction to Sakura, because Sakura is the little sister of his friend, quote-unquote, friend, Shinji.
そんなものか。
そんなものです。ほら、納得したら席に戻れよ。そろそろ藤村先生がすっ飛んでくるぞ。
I want to see Fujimura literally fly into here. That would be fucking hilarious.
あの方は飛んでくるというより浮いてくるという感じだかな。
That sounds like it would be pretty funny too. The homeroom bell rings. A homeroom teacher usually would come 5 minutes early, but our homeroom teacher isn't like that. For class 2C, homeroom starts 1 minute after the bell rings. Right when we hear, oh, what's she gonna say? Well, that was the best voice acting of this game so far. And Fujini runs into the classroom, and she's always late. How goated.
おーし、間に合った。みんな、おはうわ。
What the fuck? Oh, hi! Jesus! What the fuck? She actually just fucking fell to the floor and died? Well, I mean, I guess I can mark off Fujimura-sensei off my notes of characters because she's dead. Damn, to think you'd not even make it frickin' 1 day, girl. Jesus Christ. Fujini falls over with a terrible sound. Wait, did she actually die? What the fuck? The classroom is filled with silence in contrast to the clamor from a second ago. What the fuck? A sudden change of atmosphere. What is this music? Just as you'd expect from Fujini, her nickname of Human Jet Coaster isn't just for show. But that really was a bad hit. Fujini is still on the ground, having hit her head on the platform. Jesus Christ, girl. Calm the fuck down. You can't see her expression with her head facing the ground, so it gives you a bad mental image.
おい、前の席のやつ、先生起こしてやれよ。
やだよ。近づいた途端パクって食べられたら怖いもん。
ミミックじゃあるまいし、さすがに藤村でもそこまでやらねえだろ。
Wow.
あんたね、そう言うんなら自分で起こしてあげなさいよ。
うわ、俺パス。こういうの苦手。
I think we all know who's gonna have to do it. You're up, EMIYA.
私だって苦手よ。だいたいなんで女の子にやらせるわけ？男子やりなさいよね、男子。
I mean, wouldn't it be weirder for a guy to do it? The front row is getting noisy. As we're in the middle rows, we can't tell what sort of state Fujini is in. We can't tell, so we all stand up to look.
ちょっと先生動いてないぞ。気絶してんじゃないのか？
What a ridiculous way to start homeroom, someone asks. If so, the problem would be how to get her to the nurse's office. Everyone here is a warrior who's been with Fujini for the past year, KEKW. They probably want to get out of the habit of taking their teacher to the nurse's office. Jesus Christ.
藤村先生、大丈夫ですか？
A brave female student calls out to her. Fujini doesn't even twitch. Sense of worry runs through the room.
まずいって今の転び方。こう頭から直角に教団に突っ込んだじゃないか。あれで無傷だったら藤村無敵っぽいって。
I mean, you could literally die like that.
いっそのこと野球部にスカウトするのはどうだろう。
What the fuck?
やめろよな、そういう脅しは。タイガーが顧問になった日には俺たち甲子園行っちまうぞ。
What the fuck? So you do well?
藤村先生、藤村先生、ダメ。なんか反応ないよ。
I get that Fujimura sensei's fucking insane, but even still, I feel like these kids are not reacting enough to the fact that their teacher just like split her fucking head on the platform and fucking died.
おい、お前目の前なんだから起こしてやれよ。
やだよ俺。もし死んでたら殺されかねねえ。
What in the fuck?
でも、だからってほっといたら後が怖いと思うし。
でも誰も近づきたくないと。仕方ねえな。こうなったらあれしかないか。
あれだね。
That, huh?
せーの。
What the hell is this? All our hearts become one. Well, not Shinji and I, because we're too scared.
せーの。
Wake up, Taiga! Even though everyone said at the same time, it's only as loud as a whisper. The tiger part is especially quiet, but still, a twitch. The silent Fujini reacts.
動いた。
効き目ありだぞみんな。
よし続けろ。ガコロートンの刑じゃ。
Wait, is that the nickname? Is that the nickname? I was just assuming it was he just referred to her as Fujini, but maybe it's Tiger. Everyone must be stressed from the impending exams. Even though they shouldn't, they repeat Fujini's nickname while waving their arms. Okay.
起きろタイガー。朝だぞ。
先生、起きないとタイガーです。
Damn, they're actually all gonna die.
負けるなタイガー。立ち上がれタイガー。
Oh my god, they're literally cheering her on like this is some sort of sports anime.
よし起きろ先生。それでこそタイガーだぜ。
タイガー、タイガー、タイガー、タイガー。
Taiga! Oh, we actually stopped. I thought it was just going to be continuous, given there's only 2 on here, and they went for like 5 or 6. What the? No wonder she's a tiger, and no wonder her shirt is striped. This explains a lot, actually. Maybe I should eat some... No, I don't have any Frosted Flakes. I do have Frosted Mini Wheats. I do like Frosted Mini Wheats. Frosted Flakes are pretty good. I like cereal with a little bit of sweet, but like most cereals are cancerously sweet in my opinion. But then a cereal with like no sugar is really bland. So you want a cereal with a little sugar, but most of them either have none or so much. It's ridiculous. Like Frosted Mini Wheats are good. They're one of the few that I like. Not that I eat cereal much anyways. Frosted Flakes aren't too bad. They're actually not too sweet. But yeah, Tony the Tiger, more like Fuji the Tiger, I guess. Nice. Oh, what the fuck? Oh. So she's actually a tiger goddess. Okay, good to know. A roar of... God, what is this shot? A roar of lightning. Oh my god, it's like the beginning of the game when fucking EMIYA's describing Saber's shit, that which we'll get to see probably in like, I don't know, an episode or two maybe. She stands bravely as if the fall has done nothing at all.
あれみんな何してるのダメよホームルーム中に席を立っちゃほらほら始めるから座りなさい
What in the world is wrong with you? Fujini stands before everyone in her usual manner. Seems all memories from the moment she entered the classroom had fled her head.
おいタイガー覚えてないみたいだぞ
Don't call her Tiger now.
ラッキー朝からついてるな俺たち
Yeah, in the end it worked out, I suppose.
いやついてるっていうのかなこういうの
Yeah, it was something, that's for sure. Everyone returns to their seats, chatting.
今誰か先生のことバカにしなかった
Yes.
え、してないっすよ。気のせいじゃないっすか。
そっかならよしじゃあ今朝のホームルームを始めるからみんなおとなしく聞くように
Alright. Fujini starts homeroom slowly. She chats in between the announcements, so we don't get through it very fast.
そういうわけだからみんなも下校時刻を守るように
Okay.
門限は6時だから部活の子たちも長居しちゃダメよ
6時って言ったらすぐじゃんか。タイガ先生、それって運動系は免除されないの？
Taiga sensei. There's a 6 o'clock curfew, huh?
されませんそれと後藤くん先生のことは藤村先生って言わなくちゃダメなんだから次に名前で呼んだら怒るからね
Damn.
はーい、以後注意します。
That wasn't what he said, but I'm trying. Goto-kun sits down again, not showing any signs of listening to her. Let's go. How stupid of him. He's going to actually die. There's a reason we didn't draw a sprite for him, because he's actually about to die. Fujini gets mad when she says she will. Makes no difference that he's a student and she's a teacher. She will still murder him. He doesn't realize that she just gave him a final warning.
それじゃあ今日のホームルームはここまでみんな3次元目の英語で会おうね
Sure. Fujini leaves, waving her hand. She's the teacher responsible for Class 2C, Fujimura Taiga. Oh, that's actually her name, Taiga. Oh, that's really cool. I just have Fujimura Sensei in my notes. I can actually change this to Fujimura. Okay, let's go. I love it. Her nickname is Tiger, for obvious reasons, because her actual name is basically Tiger. You might doubt it, but it really is her nickname. People like calling her so since she has a name like Taiga, but Fujini herself hates the nickname. According to her, it's unfeminine. Yeah, she wants to be called Tigress. Rawr. But she's that kind of person. I think it's her own fault she has an unfeminine nickname. Yeah, I get what you're saying there, Emmy. I definitely get the vibes for sure.
授業を始める。日直礼を。
And this is the fucking like reverse boy. This is that other teacher they were talking about. That's like the freaking like disciplinarian. This guy looks like he sold his soul to the devil, and the devil hasn't got back to him in 40 years. The teacher for the first period enters as Fujini exits. Like, you want to talk about exact opposite. Jesus Christ. It's like this every morning as Fujini continues homeroom until the very last minute. Okay. All right. And the classes end like every other day. Yep. That's pretty similar to what I can recall for Rin as well. There are many kinds of students. Ones that go to clubs, ones that hurry home, and ones that stay in the classroom for no reason. But you go to work, don't you? Looks like I won't be in any of those categories.
すまない。ちょっといいか、エミヤ。今朝の続きなんだが、今日は時間あるか？
Okay, no, I guess you're just gonna keep helping your boy Issei here.
いや、予定はあるといえばあるけど。
It's not like I'm just playing around. After all, the main reason I quit the archery club is because I wanted to prioritize work. It's already been 5 years since father died, and I decided to start working to pay my living expenses. If you work a lot, there are some jobs you just can't refuse. Today's an example. They're restocking inventory at work, and they asked me to come if I can, as any help is appreciated. But it's certainly not something I have to go to. They're probably just having people come in because they want to party after work. There are two options. Ooh, oh shit. Oh fuck. I hate this. I hate choices. I hate this so much. So what are we? Yeah, okay, now we're on school. I hate this so much. I actually do hate this. Oh my god. What do I do? I go and help the student council. I go to work. I kind of want to go to work, but I don't want to keep picking like the first option, but like I feel like if we hang out with Issei, and whatever happens with the student council is probably going to be more interesting. I don't know, work is such an unknown. Oh, I hate this. I actually hate this so much. Oh, man. Oh, why is this so hard? This is actually really difficult for me. Do I go and help the student council or do I go to work? I don't think any of these choices are like that important. I feel like the first choice was whether you hang out with Sakura or I guess it would be Fujimura sensei. I don't know what this one's like. Either I hang out with Issei or I hang out with an unknown. I feel like I'll go to work might be more interesting, but let's go and help out the student council. It's something I've started. I should finish the job I began this morning.
予定変更。朝の続きだろ。任せろ。試験が始まる前に備品の修理なんて済ませちまおうぜ。
Sounds good to me.
助かる。それでは美術部の患者を見に行くとするか。
I love that. The patient in the art club then.
はいよ。人払いはちゃんとしてくれよ。人目があると集中できない。
Yeah, because it technically is magic, even if it's shitty magic.
無論だ。他の連中に邪魔はさせぬ。
Sure. Issei quickly walks to the hallway and I follow him out of the classroom in a hurry. I know I have I think it was 300 save slots or something, but I hope I have enough save slots to save at all the choices. That might be a bit generous, but the sun is already set when we leave the school building. The school gates are already closed. It's 7 o'clock and way past curfew, but thanks to Issei, we're not in trouble. Makes sense.
いや、今日は助かった。必ずこの礼はするから。何かあったら遠慮なく言ってくれ。
Okay, so we've banked ourselves a favor with Issei, so we could probably go to Ryoto Temple later down the line, maybe, and parlay this into something. But I don't know. See, that's the thing. I don't know how this game's going. Like, I don't know if there's going to be any, like, free time options where I can, like, do whatever with my day. That would be really interesting if there is, because there are choices. I'm wondering what these choices amount to, or if it's just different dialogue and just different interactions that don't actually lead to anything. No idea.
そうだな。なんかあったら言うよ。まあ、とりわけ何もないとは思うけど。
Yeah, but it's nice to know we can rely on Ryoto if necessary. I didn't help him to get something in return, so there's nothing I want from Issei.
まったく人が良いのも考えものだな。エミヤがいてくれると助かるが、他の連中にいいように使われるのは我慢ならん。人助けはいいことだが、もう少し相手を選ぶべきではないか。エミヤの場合、来る人拒まずすぎる。
In a weird way, that kind of reminds me a lot of Araragi Koyomi from the Monogatari series. Of course, I'm not up to date on Monogatari, but I'm currently in the middle of my reaction series of that. But it kind of reminds me of Koyomi from Monogatari a little bit in that sense.
そんなに節操ないか、俺。
Assuming that Issei's analysis is on the money.
これでは心ないバカどもがいいように利用しようというものだわ。エミヤも忙しい身なのだから、たまには他人の頼みなど断ってもよかろう。
Well, I'll keep that in mind. Maybe I'll decline someone later on in the story. Oh, I love the blush, though. I can't really tell, but it seems like Issei's worried about me. And that's the other thing, too, is again... I don't know if this applies to boy on boy, but God only knows. Hey, you never know. Can't really tell, but it seems like Issei's worried about me. I've been called helpful since I was in middle school, as I don't turn down requests for help and don't ask for anything in return. I guess Issei thinks that's dangerous. But I'm doing it because I want to, and it's not a problem as I decline things that I think are beyond me.
それは一星がするような心配じゃない。自分のことは自分が一番分かってるさ。それに人助けは善行だろ。寺の息子が咎めるようなことじゃあるまい。
Yeah, I mean that's definitely true, but yeah, I mean it is certainly interesting. There is a balance to that where sometimes there's not a lot of people like this, but you see this sometimes, especially in fiction, is these characters who just can't help but help people. Like, you know, if there's a problem, they can't help but try and help them or whatever. It's just the nature of who they are. And like I said, I made that comparison to Araragi from Monogatari, and at least according to Issei, it seems like EMIYA here is another character like Araragi who kind of is like that, and that's really interesting. And I think that's a really interesting trait to have in a protagonist, because it is like a classic like good guy kind of thing. It's just you have to help. You are always helping everyone, no matter what the situation, no matter what the circumstances. So for the fact that one of the friends of our protagonist seems to be portraying him as such is interesting, and something that I definitely will keep in mind moving forward. And I'm curious to see how much this seems to be the case, because again, obviously, I have my theory that as we play this route, when we get to February 2nd, and we get to the night of February 2nd, the scenario at the end of the prologue is going to play out, and right before Saber kills Rin, I expect EMIYA to stop her and save her, and that's going to create a very interesting scene between the three of them. Potentially Archer, if Archer's able to come out as well. That would be just really interesting, and potentially set up the premise where maybe they agree to work together, or maybe they just agree to not fight each other, where it's not like they're going to help each other in any way, but they're going to agree to basically have an armistice, unless they both, like, if it comes to the end and it's just down to Rin and EMIYA, then they'll like duke it out in essentially the finals, the grand finals for the Holy Grail. But I could see a scenario where maybe they have a mutual agreement to not fight each other, or at least not fight each other until it just comes down to the two of them.
しかしな、エミヤのは度が過ぎるというか、このまま行くと潰れるというか。
I mean, given the nature of this game, and like I said, what the knowledge we already know about this, I could certainly see that, especially given the fact that he's going to end up with the most powerful servant.
忠告は受け取っとく。それじゃあまた明日学校でな。
うん。それではまた明日。
Issei leaves, looking discontented. I kind of just want to know what Sakura made for dinner. Probably gonna have fish for dinner tonight. Like, fry a little white fish and make a shrimp salad too. Just kind of go a very seafood heavy route. Issei's house, Ryoto Temple, is up in the mountains, so naturally our routes home go in different directions. Yep, so we're gonna head home. Almost there. I walk through the moonlit town. Walking up the road, I notice that there aren't any people around. The time is around 7:30. There should be people around at this time, but there's no sign of anyone.
そういえば確か。
The curfew. There was some crime here in Miyama City a few days ago. A burglar murdered someone, I think. Very dark. That must be why there's no one around and why the school curfew became 6 o'clock. Okay, that makes sense, I suppose. It's hard to get a scale of it, but I do get the vibe from the way they speak that these towns are not that big. It's clearly not. They're meant to be towns. There's a fair amount of people, but it's not supposed to be like heavily populated. It's hard to get a real sense of it. I imagine this is probably based in real Japanese cities, but like Miyama City and Shinto and all that. But because this is probably all based on real locations, I bet.
ガス漏れに強盗か。物騒なことになってきたな。
Yeah, there's definitely feels like there's something going on, isn't it, EMIYA? No wonder there are fewer people walking around at night. It's getting too dangerous to let Sakura go home on her own. Sakura's house is in the residential area on the other side of town. Starting tonight, I should walk her home. For a moment, I can't believe my eyes. There is someone on the road which I thought was empty. The person is standing above me as if looking down at me. What the fuck? Hello? Little girl? I want to say there was a character that looked like her in the opening, but again, the art style was so different because the opening was like a pretty basic looking like mid-2000s anime, and then this is like a very different, like a visual novel art style, so it's like very kind of different even though they both have the anime aesthetic. Without realizing it, I hold my breath. The silver-haired girl smiles and descends the hill without a sound. As she passes,
早く呼び出さないと死んじゃうよ、お兄ちゃん。
excuse me? So he's destined to be a master after all. See, that makes me wonder if one of his parents was a master and died fighting in the Holy Grail War, because we know that was 10 years ago, and that was when the last Holy Grail War happened, because that's when Rin's dad died. Ooh, who the fuck are you, girl? That is an ominous warning. This is really interesting. She says something strange. Okay. Is this gonna be the end of the night? Well, no, yeah, we should still have dinner. I go up the hill and reach my house. As the lights are on, Sakura and Fujini must be home already. Yeah, it's interesting they mentioned Sakura's house, but it's like, from the sounds of it, it sounds like she rarely actually stays at her house because she actually lives at your house. So it was kind of interesting that he mentioned her house at all. Hey, back home. I smell dinner the moment I enter the living room. What'd you make, girl? At the table are Sakura and Fujini in the middle of dinner. Seems the main dish tonight is chicken and cream, and Fujini, who loves white sauce, is in a good mood. I mean, what else do I need to say? Yeah, chicken and cream. I get what they're describing. I'm not the biggest fan of that type of stuff. Of all the million ways that you can make chicken, you know, I like a creamy kind of chicken dish. Not really my style. I mean, it can be pretty good, but that's not something I would typically make.
おかえりなさい先輩。お先に失礼していますね。
Alright.
ただいま。遅くなってごめんな。もうちょっと早く帰ってくればよかったんだけど。
I had to help out my boy.
いいです。ちゃんと間に合いましたから。ちょっと待っててくださいね。すぐ用意しますから。
Sounds good to me.
うん、頼む。手を洗ってくるから、人のおかずを食べないように藤姉を見張っといてくれ。
はい、きちんと見張っています。
I returned to my room. It's a fairly empty room compared to the shed, but since I don't have any hobbies, I think it's quite decorated. Even for no hobbies, quite decorated my ass. What the fuck? Most of them are random things Fujini has left here, though. Okay, I imagine maybe they're in a different... Yeah, this picture is not doing your commentary any justice, bro. I wash my hands, change, and return to the living room to find my dinner ready.
いただきます。
いただきます。
はい、お口に合えばいいんですけど。
I find it interesting that they don't translate itadakimasu, like they just go with, because they could always put something like thanks for the food or whatever. It says a lot about the audience watching this that they feel like it's more apparent to just put itadakimasu because everyone who is weeb enough to be playing this game is gonna know what itadakimasu means, because it's like one of the most common Japanese phrases, and it's a phrase that, for example, if you ever go to Japan, it's like one of the phrases that you should know before you go, because it's a big, you know, respectful thing in the culture and everything. It's like a traditional thing that you say every meal, right? And so it's like it's something very rooted in society. Like, yeah, I mean, it's a really good tradition too. But it's like something that's just so hard coded into Japanese society that you would see it would be a thing. It's a thing in real life. It's a thing in fiction. It's a thing in every context of Japanese rooted stuff. So by extension, weebs have run into it so many times just through their anime consumption or whatever other forms of weeb culture, like VNs, for example, that like every weeb would know this. And unlike anime, which is more of a mainstream medium, something like this, like every fucking weeb would know what itadakimasu is. So it's just interesting that they translate it like that, they don't translate it basically, as opposed to giving us subs that say something, you know, a reasonable translation of itadakimasu. Sakura is terribly modest. Her cooking skills have vastly improved in the past year. She has me completely beaten at Western-style foods, and I could barely beat her at Japanese food. Neither of us have touched Chinese. I'm pleased my pupil is getting better, but it's kind of depressing when the teacher is defeated by the student. It's as good as I expected. Chicken becomes harder the longer you cook it, so it's juicier and tastier if you roast it before cooking it, even though it's tedious. That's done perfectly here. It's a master's skill, forever beyond the clumsy Fujini.
どうでしょうか先輩。今日のはうまくいったと思うんですけど。
Like, I suppose senpai is another one, but like senpai doesn't really translate well. Like, I feel like everyone does senpai like that, so you know. But a lot of times, itadakimasu is actually translated.
文句なし。ホワイトソースも絶妙だ。もう洋物じゃさくらにはかなわないな。
That does sound pretty good.
さくらちゃんがご飯作ってくれるようになってからお肉関係が美味しくなった。
With that, Fujini, who had been preoccupied with her food, lifts up her head.
あ、ダメよシロ。 学生がこんな洋服に帰ってきちゃいけないんだから。
Damn. Ugh. It seems she's in a bad mood now that she's seen my face, even though she was happy because of dinner.
もうまた誰かの手伝いをしてたんでしょう。それはそれでいいことだけど、こんな時ぐらいは早く帰ってきなさい。最近物騒だぞってホームルームで言ったじゃない。
I don't remember you saying that. All I remember you doing was literally knocking yourself out, passing out, needing the whole class to call you Tiger to wake up, and then that was about it.
あれ、シローに対して言ったんだからね。
Well, I mean, you didn't need to say it in the homeroom then.
あのさ、わざわざホームルームで言わなくてもうちで言えばいいんじゃないの？
Damn, me and EMIYA are in sync right now. That was literally what I was saying.
ここで言っても聞かないもの。学校でガツンと言った方がシローには効果的なんだもん。
Well, maybe it would be more effective if you weren't pranking me.
先生、それは職権乱用というか公私混同だと思います。
I love both of those faces.
それぐらいしないとシローはダメなのよ。
Damn.
いつも人の手伝いばっかりして損してるからさ。たまにはまっすぐ帰ってきてのんびりしててもいいじゃない、バカチン。
Okay, yeah, so now we're seeing this commentary not only from Issei, but also from Fujimura. So we're really establishing the fact that Shiro has this, like, I don't know how to put it, not a complex or an addiction, but he just has this tendency to always help people in need no matter what. And like I said, it's an interesting character trait for a protagonist. And I'm curious to see how that plays out in the game, like I said, because that could lead to some interesting scenarios in the Holy Grail War.
バカチンとはなんだよ、バカチンとは。いいじゃないか。誰かの手伝いをして、それでその人が助かるんなら、損なんかしてないぞ。
Sure.
はあ、キリツグさんに似たのかな。シローがそんなんじゃお姉ちゃん心配だよ。
I don't exactly know how she's worried, as she's energetically munching down her dinner.
藤村先生、今の話からすると先輩って昔からそうなんですか？
うん、昔からそうなの。なんか困ってる人がいたら自分から手を出しちゃうタイプ。けどおせっかいってわけじゃなくて、シローはね、単におませさんなのだ。
Precocious is an interesting way to put it. Fujini laughs dangerously.
藤ね、余計なこと言ったら怒るぞ。もうさくらもつまんないこと聞くなよな。
I glare at them. Fujini clicks her tongue and backs down,
藤村
but
先生、お話を続けてください。
Sakura wants to know everything about you. Sakura is taking the lesson seriously.
じゃあ話しちゃおう。これがね、シローは困った人を放っておけない性格なのよ。弱きを助け強きをくじくってやつ。子供の頃の作文なんてね、僕の夢は正義の味方になることですだったんだから。
My dream is to become a superhero. I suppose he wasn't lying, but obviously he used superhero in place of what he really wanted to be. She's talking about things from so long ago. But it's all true, so I don't interrupt. Anyways, becoming a superhero is a goal I must not stray from even now.
わあ、すごい言葉だったんですね、先輩。
I mean, he arguably still is.
すごかったよ。年上の男の子にいじめられてる女の子がいたら助けに入ってくれたし、キリツグさんが武将だったから家事だって一生懸命こなしてたし。
Aw, that's pretty adorable to be honest.
あの頃は可愛くて純真だったのに、それがどうしてこんなひねくれた子になっちゃったんだろうな。
Wow, what a savage.
そりゃ藤姉がいたからだろう。ダメな大人を見てると子供はいろいろ考えるんだよ。悔しかったらちゃんと自分で飯作ってみろ。
Kick W.
No!
Yo, get fucked, bro. Fujini crumbles and that face is adorable. And Sakura's like, what? Do not diss her like that. I thought she might drop her head and repent, but...
お姉ちゃんは悲しいよ。さくらちゃん、おかわり。
And of course she tries to freaking use that to get more food. Fujini asks for her third bowl. Of course she does. Is that gonna end the night? No, not quite. Relaxing after dinner, it's almost 9 o'clock.
さて、何をしたもんか。
There's some time before my evening training. Oh shit. I hate this so much. Why are there so many choices? I probably shouldn't be saving at all these choices. I've already pushed the Sakura thing. So this is very easy to comprehend because similarly to last time, this is like a Sakura deal and a Fuji deal. I really like Fujimura, but I feel like I've already done a Sakura thing, so maybe I should push that further. All rest just seems stupid because what would that get you, right? So let's take Sakura home. I haven't thanked Sakura for dinner yet, so I'll go and talk to her.
そうだな。夜も遅いし、家まで送って行ってやらないと。
Sounds good to me. Sakura's in the living room getting ready to go home, having finished the cleaning.
あれ先輩、お風呂に入ってたんじゃないんですか？
いや、風呂は後回し。さくらを送ってから入る。
送るって私をですか？
I mean, you said it yourself. It's not really safe, so...
なあ、最近物騒だから家まで送る。さくらんち結構遠いだろ？わざわざ来てもらってるんだから、それぐらいはさせてくれ。
That sounds like a good idea. Sakura falls into an awkward silence. I say something bad?
ごめんなさい。気持ちは嬉しいんですけど、先輩は休んでいてください。家までだったら慣れてますし、一人でも大丈夫ですから。
I mean, it's probably a pretty good idea because you end up in a weird situation with some foreign blonde boy in, what, is it day 2? Yeah, I think in day 2. So, yeah, it makes sense. I mean, that'll be tomorrow night now because we're back on day 1. As confusing as that is, we did 3 days as Rin and then we went back to day 1 now.
いや、それはそうだろうけど、最近物騒だろ？しばらくは家まで送っていくよ。
Yeah, that sounds like a good idea.
でも、兄さんに見つかると、先輩にまで迷惑がかかります。
That's right. Sakura's brother Shinji doesn't approve of Sakura coming to my place. He can't object too strongly because she says she's going to Fujini's house, but it could be a problem if I take her home. I don't care about getting falsely accused myself, but it's not good if Shinji takes it out on Sakura.
けど、途中までならいいだろ。交差点あたりまでならシンジと会うこともないし。
That seems like a good, compromise. Sakura is silent. Considering Sakura, she must not be able to lie to Shinji if I take her home even part of the way.
なあ、それじゃあ。
私が送っていこっか？
A tiger-striped English teacher appears. Nice!
ダメだよ。そんなの本末転倒じゃないか。女の子が夜で歩くから危ないっていうのに、さら。
Wow. No. It's a mistake to call Fujini a girl. Jesus. For starters, she doesn't head the archery club for nothing. Her 5th dan kendo skills are dangerous in many ways.
藤根なら大丈夫か。痴漢が出ても撃退できるだろうし。
Damn.
できるよ。だからさくらちゃんを送っていくのも問題なし。それでいい？さくらちゃん。
Yeah, that's probably fair enough.
はい、 藤村先生がよろしいのでしたら。
I mean, that's nice. I mean, I'm actually really glad I picked this option because it means that Sakura gets to go home with someone, even if it's not me. So I'm vibing with this because if it was playing with Fujini, then Sakura just leaves alone, and I'm sure she's fine because I doubt any of this has anything to do with anything in the game other than probably getting you closer to getting some H scenes. I really think that's all these decisions are. I'm not saying there won't necessarily be decisions that matter, but I struggle to imagine these decisions really mean much of anything. But I guess what confuses me is that we have decisions with like go to work or help fucking, why can't I think of his name right now? You say, and like those are kind of weird because if unless we really can get H scenes with boys and girls, which would be pretty based, I'm not gonna lie, but I would be kind of surprised given this game came out in, like I said, like the mid 2000s or even early 2000s, somewhere between 03 and 05. I forget. I want to say the game's 04, but I'm not positive about that.
決まりだね。それじゃあ行こっか。私も今日はそろそろ帰ろうかなって思ってたんだ。
I mean, that makes sense. Fujini starts to walk off, taking Sakura's hand.
ちょっと待った、さくら。
何ですか、先輩。
晩飯うまかったよ。いつもありがとな。
Aww. She was not expecting that praise. She deserves it, though.
はい。ご迷惑でなかったら次も頑張りますね、先輩。
Sounds fantastic. Saying so with a big smile, Sakura leaves the living room. I know I'm blushing. It's troublesome as Sakura surprises me a lot these days. Time flies. She was just a junior before. Now she's a female junior to me. How pitiful of me. I really want to smash. Sakura is like family to me, so I can't accept this change, damn. I mean, that's fair. I mean, if he kind of views her kind of like a sister, then I can understand why he feels kind of weird about wanting to smash. Although, on the flip side, okay, so now we get to see his training. And yep, all of a sudden we're playing that real music, that fucking Magus music. You know they hit the freaking piano, shit's gonna get real. And so the day ends. Just before midnight, EMIYA Shiro must carry out his daily routine of using magic. I stretch out and adjust my breathing. I try to empty my mind. I ignore everything around me and pay attention only to what is inside me.
トレス。
As if to hypnotize myself, I murmur the spell I'm long accustomed to. No, I really am hypnotizing myself. As I have no magic crest and no knowledge of magic, a spell is only a change to myself. Normally, there are no lines in a human body to allow the passage of magical energy. To artificially change my body to create such a line, I need enough concentration to unify my whole body and every nerve within it. Magic is a battle with yourself. For instance, at this very moment, I am inserting a burning steel rod into my backbone. Jesus! This metal rod is the only magic circuit I can prepare for myself. Holy shit. That's insane. There has been a heavy emphasis in the prologue too for Rin between magic and pain. So it's interesting. So it's not surprising to me that we're seeing something like this here on the Shiro side, but holy fuck, that's horrifying to even think about. When I insert it this deep into my body and connect it to the other nerves, I can finally become a magus. This is not a metaphor. In reality, something like a burning tongue which cannot be seen or felt is being inserted into my backbone. Jesus.
僕は魔法使いなんだ。
EMIYA Kiritsugu, the man who said so, was really a magus. A living magus who performed many marvels and had touched the very structure of the world. As a young child, I admired him and asked him to teach me magic. But you cannot become a magus just through effort. It requires it requires born talent and appropriate knowledge. And of course, I have no talent. Kiritsugu taught me nothing of magic. He said something about me having no need of such knowledge. I still don't know what he meant by that. Well, here's the thing, right? If Kiritsugu was this, like, legendary sorcerer, one of the 5, or however, you know, with 5 sorcerers now, whatever, but one of the sorcerers of the world, right? Here's the thing. He wouldn't just randomly pick a kid to adopt. So it's obvious that EMIYA, or Shiro, is not just some kid. Whoever his parents were more than just some people. And it's not a coincidence that they died 10 years ago. So, he adopted this kid, or, you know, at least gave him that choice because he knew what this kid could be. You know, it's not a coincidence that these things happen, especially in a series literally called Fate. It's not a coincidence. I mean, this game is literally called Fate Stay Night. And for that matter, we're literally in the Fate route, so this stuff's not a coincidence. But still, it didn't matter to me back then. I thought that if I could use magic, I could be like him. But I was not born with talent. No strength of magic circuit, no accumulated works of magic handed down for generations. I wonder if the story here is his parents, like, sealed away his magic potential deep within him or something. They did something to protect him. So that he wouldn't be, like, targeted or killed or whatever. And for whatever reason, EMIYA knew about that, and so he saved this kid and made him his son, or whatever. I don't know, or maybe that was part of the plan from his parents. I don't know, but whatever the case may be, there's definitely something more at play here. The works of magic Kiritsugu possessed, the magic crest passed down the EMIYA family, can only be passed on to a blood relation. A magic crest forces a rejection on those with no blood relation. So, as an adopted son, I could not receive the EMIYA family's magic crest. Well, anyways, as I don't even know what a magic crest is, it doesn't matter if I have one or not. So now, all it comes down to is training what I can do. If I want to be a magus, I have to learn magic fit to my nature. To be blunt, magic is a way to release one's magical energy. You could say that magical energy is my life force. It is divided into 2 forms. A large source, mana, floating around the world, and a small source, ode, created inside oneself. Yeah, mana and ode, that's pretty classic stuff. It goes without saying that the large source is superior to the small one. Mana is like the life force of the universe, right? But ode is like your own eternal force. The power of mana is on a completely different level from ode. Whatever the form of the magic, a spell using the large source far exceeds one using only one's own power. That is why superior magi excel at drawing magical energy from the world. It's like a filter. A magus turns his body into a filter, sucks up the mana from the world around him, and changes it into something he can use. This filter is what we call a magic circuit. Yeah, that makes perfect sense. This is the talent one is born with, and the number of the magic circuits within you is determined the moment you are born. Normally, human beings do not have many magic circuits. To begin with, there are always very few. That is why magi pile them up generation after generation, making their children more suitable to use magic. I hear some families go too far and increase the number of magic circuits by selective breeding. Well, since I was raised in a normal family, I don't have many magic circuits. So that leaves only one method open to me. According to Kiritsugu, every person has at least one form of magic they are fit for. He said something about drawing out magical energy appropriate to their origin, but I didn't really understand. All I know for sure is that even I have some magic I can use, and if I train that magic, I may be able to become like Kiritsugu. That is why I learned only that magic. That was 8 years ago. I've After a lot of thought, Kiritsugu finally accepted me as a student.
いいかいシロ、魔術を習うということは常識からかけ離れるということだ。死ぬときは死に、殺すときは殺す。
You die when you die and you kill when you must.
僕たちの本質は生ではなく死だからね。
Jesus,
魔
that's like
術とは自らを滅ぼす道に他ならない。
that's really dark. Our essence is not in life, but in death. Magic is only a way to destroy yourself. I mean, to be fair, that makes a lot of sense because I was just talking about this. It was the case with, the prologue went into this in depth with Rin, and we're seeing this with Shiro now. There's a heavy emphasis to the pain of magic, that it is unnatural for humans to be mages, to be a magi, and this heavy emphasis on the fact that, like, yeah, it is like you're destroying yourself in order to become a vessel of magic, a conduit, a magic circuit, right? So it's really interesting how magic is portrayed in this world. Like, it's just really interesting. Like, I can't really think of any other series that has really portrayed it in the way that it's portraying it in this game, which I really like. It's like, it's just, everything about it just feels really dark and really, I don't even want to say dark so much as mature. Like, it feels like there's a lot of depth to what Fate is, the commentary here in Fate. You know, because it's about magic as a way to become something beyond human. And in essence, you are destroying yourself to become something more. But like I said, yeah, is it worth the cost, right? I guess I had no fear as a child. Kiritsugu smiled bitterly, putting his hand on the nodding EMIYA Shiro.
君に教えるのはそういった争いを呼ぶ類のものだ。
Yep.
だから人前で使ってはいけないし、難しいものだから鍛錬を怠ってもいけない。でもまあそれは破ったって構わない。
Wow.
一番大事なことはね、魔術は自分のためじゃなくて他人のためだけに使うということだよ。
I guess Kiritsugu didn't want me to become a magus. I don't care about that. I don't admire a magus. I admire Kiritsugu. If I can become like Kiritsugu and be there for someone like on that red day, that will be... Thinking needlessly, I feel the iron rod in my backbone slide into place. Jesus. Oh God. If I lose control of my breathing now, it would be a fatal mistake. The artificial magic circuit will eat away my body and destroy it. Jesus Christ, and you do this every night? That happens, I'll die. I would be only an amateur, failing such an elementary step. Grind my teeth and resume the connection. Okay, so he's gained control of it. After a battle like walking on needles, the iron rod finally arrives deep within me and fuses with my body. This process took me about an hour. After that much time, I'm finally able to make one artificial circuit. One circuit that produces magical energy.
基本可視解明
After that, it becomes a process of naturally flowing magical energy. EMIYA Shiro is no magus. He is only a magic user who can create magical energy within his body and channel it into objects. So there's only one magic possible, which is...
構成材質解明
strengthening objects. Interesting. It is a magic of strengthening that reinforces the object's abilities by understanding the object's structure and channeling magical energy into it. Interesting. So it's almost a little bit like... It's like a nerfed version, for anyone who's seen or read Boku no Hero Academia, My Hero Academia, it's almost like a nerfed version of Momoyaozu's quirk. I say nerfed because he's not making things, he's strengthening things, but it's based on his understanding of the composition of these objects, which is really interesting.
基本腰変更
Yeah? Before me is a metal pipe. I will channel magical energy into it, perform the simplest magic, and reinforce its durability. Basically, channeling your magical energy into something other than yourself is like pouring poison into that object. It's just as the blood of EMIYA Shiro is not the blood of the metal pipe. Pumping different blood only accelerates its breakdown. It certainly wouldn't strengthen it. To prevent that, and to turn the poison into a tonic, one must completely understand the structure of the target and channel the magical energy into small open spaces. Okay.
構成材質補強
Yeah? It must be easy for a skilled magus, but for me, who cannot even create sufficient magical energy, it's as hard as hitting a target hundreds of meters away. The usual target in archery is 28 meters away. Ah, and there's the symbolism of archery. He played archery, but he's doing something a lot harder than archery, which is, you know, at least symbolically why he isn't in archery club anymore, even though, yeah. How much harder is it? At many times that distance, goes without saying. The heat in my body quickly escapes. The burning pillar in my backbone disappears, and the lungs stretched to the limit demand air. Really interesting stuff. Wow, that was really intriguing. Again, learning more about, you know, because it's really interesting, because with the prologue, we got to see the perspective of Rin, who is like born for this. She's she was born with about as much magical power as anyone would be. And it's interesting to see her perspective as a fully fledged magus versus the perspective of Shiro, who's much lower on the totem pole, and to kind of see these different perspectives of how things are and their own struggles related to magic is just really interesting. And it gives you perspective, and it really sets, like I said, that prologue did so much for setting up the universe, but also setting up the stage for everything that's to come. And now we're in this interesting situation, because now we're getting into Shiro's head, and we're getting a different perspective that's also really interesting. I just love how this game, the early section of this game, is just operating, and like how it's built me up so much, and I'm like getting more and more excited for everything that's to come in this story. It's like really interesting. And we've actually been going for quite a while. I think we're I don't know. I think we're pretty close to the end of the day. It's probably going to be a relatively short episode again, but like an under 3 hour part. Like I think it's going to be maybe a 2.5 hour part, because I do think we're close to the end of the day. But I think I'm just going to stop on doing this one day. I think that's my goal. I think I'm going to try to make most episodes either 1 day or 2 days. It depends on how long days are. But I might do a situation where like each episode is 1 day. That might be a good way to make it work. I arc my back to hold off the days almost making me pass out.
くそまた失敗か
Well, in about 48 hours, you're gonna become so much more than you could have ever imagined. Regardless of your magic capabilities, whatever the case may be, whether it was because of the power that was infused with you to save your life, or whatever the case may be, one way or another, you're gonna end up summoning the Bay. There's no change in the metal pipe. It seems that the magical energy I poured into it has evaporated into the air.
元から形があるものに手を加えるのはきつい
The thing I'm attempting is like adding something to an already complete work of art. Adding to a complete object risks making it less perfect. Adding unnecessary things will actually decrease the value. That is why the magic of strengthening is simple yet difficult, and only a few magi use it willingly. It's not like I use it willingly either, but it can't be helped, as this is the only thing I'm good at. It would be much easier if I could just form something out of clay and use it instead, but a substitute in appearance doesn't have the internal structure to match. The junk around here is a good example. When I fail with strengthening magic, I make some substitute objects to practice and to calm down, but they all end up with nothing inside. I can visualize something's structure easily, so I can make the outside look like the original, but it's empty inside, and of course it doesn't do anything. Interesting. I wipe the sweat off my brow. It is honestly, I mean, the more he describes it, like, this sounds like a more interesting and more established version of what I was talking about earlier, Yaoyorozu's quirk from My Hero Academia. If you've not seen the series, you know, I won't really get into any specifics. It's not really much of a spoiler or anything, but it's interesting is my point. It's an interesting series. I mean, obviously it's super mainstream, so most of you have probably seen or read it. Whereas my Monogatari comparison, that's a little more obscure, I suppose. Now that I think about it, I realize my whole body is sweating like I've been drenched with a bucket of water. Yeah, it makes sense given what you were doing, like fucking fusing freaking like hot metal rod with your backbone or whatever the fuck. Like, yeah, I imagine, and the concentration necessary and everything that was going on. I'm not surprising that you sweat like crazy. But I'm lucky it just ended like this. That was really bad. If I had taken a second longer to recover myself, I would probably have destroyed most of my body.
死にかけた分上達するならまだ見込みがあるんだけどな。
Damn. It's not even that easy. But it is true that you won't improve your magic if you're scared of death. As long as you study magic, death is always right beside you. Even a simple magic repeated every day can go off with a simple mistake, taking the caster's life. That's so cool. I love this music! God, I'm such a mark for piano, though.
魔術師にとって一番初めの覚悟とは
It makes sense.
死を
Oops, sorry. Sorry, Kiritsugu. I didn't mean to cut you off there. Kiritsugu said so, sadly. Maybe he meant that he didn't want me to take such a step.
誰かを助けるということは誰かを助けないということ。
Damn.
正義の味方っていうのはとんでもないエゴイストなんだ。
That's odd. That's oddly deep. Kiritsugu said that to me when I told him I wanted to be just like him. I still don't know what he meant. But EMIYA Shiro has to become a superhero who goes around saving people. Just like EMIYA Kiritsugu.
その割にこんな処方がうまくいかないんだもんな。なんでいざって時に雑念が入るんだ。バカ。
It's interesting too because this I feel like this scene parallels Rin's summoning scene where she summoned Archer. She was trying to summon Saber and she summoned Archer. And there's a lot of parallels I recognize, and they both hate how they make silly mistakes. And like, I don't know, it's interesting the parallels between Tosaka and EMIYA, and I really like what they're doing. Like, God, like there's so much I could say about this. And we're still so early into Fate Stay Night, and I'm like really impressed with the writing. And I really like this is what I enjoy about visual novels. I think, you know, this medium, I love this medium to pieces. And, you know, obviously huge fan of Ace Attorney. I've become a huge fan of Danganronpa recently. And, you know, again, I have no idea when you guys will be seeing this. I'm recording this on January 22nd, 2022. No idea when this will come out. But I really enjoy the interesting commentary that you get from this visual novel. And like with this one in particular, I feel like there's a depth to everything and just a depth to the dialogue that's so strong and is ever present in Fate that I'm just really impressed with. And I think there's a lot beyond that, where it's not just a wall of text, and that's not why this story is good. I'm already noticing parallels between Rin and Shiro, which I love, because obviously there's a kind of, you know, hero, because they've built up both Rin and Shiro as heroes of the story, as and obviously Shiro is seemingly the protagonist, although given, you know, there's the Unlimited Blade Works terms already come up in at the beginning of the game, and it's interesting because I know that the second route is called Unlimited Blade Works, and we've already seen that Archer has some crazy shit with blades, so, you know, a lot of this it all really adds up to the idea that I'm wondering if the perspective's going to return to Rin when we get to the second route, or if that means something else. But whatever the case may be, we're building up a lot of interesting parallels between Rin and Shiro that I really appreciate. And I just really like where this game's going, and there's just a lot of really cool things that are at play here. And I'm like really invested in this really early on, and I'm really loving this is my point. I'm really impressed. Like, you know, like for example, to compare, like Danganronpa was very fun and interesting. This is obviously a more serious game. But like my level of investment in Fate early on is a lot stronger than my level of investment in Danganronpa early on. Now, I ended up really enjoying the first game, and I think the second game is a masterpiece. But I feel like my investment is really strong really quickly. Like, it's really getting really strong quite quickly, which I really appreciate. I'm really into this. I'm really into this is what I'm trying to say without getting too in-depth there. It's not enough to understand the structure of an object with mere vision. A skilled magist only detects what's important and channels magical energy without waste. Yeah, we've talked about this already. My dream is to become a superhero. I remember what Fujini said during dinner. I don't think it's embarrassing nor impossible. It's already determined. EMIYA Shiro will succeed EMIYA Kiritsugu. That's why even though I'm inexperienced, I've done everything I can. I don't know what kind of a person a superhero should be, so I can only approach it by helping others within the limits of my abilities. And there you go. You have the deep-rooted reasons why EMIYA acts the way he does. It's fucking great. And for us to be diving into this so early into the story, like the deep-rooted reasons why Rin and Shiro act the way they are, it's awesome. And it really makes me wonder, like, where the story's gonna go, because I feel like I'm starting to get a pretty strong understanding of both of them as early as we are into the story. And that's a testament to the writing of Fate and the fact that they're diving into it, but it makes me wonder where we're going. I have aimed straight for that goal for the past 5 years, but when things just go wrong like this, I do have doubts.
点でわからないよ、親父。
Cool to see the father.
一体さ、何をすれば正義の味方になれるんだ?
I look up at the sky through the window. It's not like I can just randomly do good deeds. I think being a superhero is different from just helping others. I know that, but the question is, how can I become one? The difference between the two is the thing I've failed to understand for the past 5 years. Is this the end of the day? Yep, there it is. I figured we were doing that. Holy shit. Fate Stay Night 2, 1 day, 2... Okay, that's kind of weird, but the point is that we just made it to... Okay, we had 3 choices that day. And what we have... Yeah, we have 15 times 20, so we have 300 save slots. So for the time being, I don't know if I'm actually abusing the save slots or not, because I have no idea how many days we're gonna have, but okay. But yeah, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, that was we can actually go back to the title screen now. That'd be cool. Yep. Very cool. So that was episode 3 of Fate Stay Night, and the first episode of the Fate route. Really interesting stuff. This episode was kind of a bit of a cool down, because obviously episode 1 was just kind of our introduction into Rin and into the Fate universe. Episode 2, shit got crazy, and we ended the prologue. And episode 3, now we're being introduced to EMIYA Shiro, who we saw just a little bit in the prologue, but now we're actually in his perspective, and we're following what's going on with him. And it's been really interesting, and I'm really enjoying where this game is going, and I'm really excited to see where it's going to go, because we're already getting deep into the character of EMIYA Shiro, and we're only through January 31st. We still have, you know, February 1st to go through before the infamous February 2nd, where the Holy Grail War officially begins, and Shiro meets Saber, and all that stuff goes down that we saw at the very beginning of the prologue, at the very beginning of the game. So yeah, that was fun. Also, the choices have me nervous. We had 3 choices just in the first day, and if that's about the amount of choices we're going to have per day, I'm terrified, because that means there's so many variations in dialogue and choices. I can't even imagine how long it took for the writer or writers of this game to write this entire game, given the fact that, like I said, we are just barely scratching the surface of Fate Stay Night, and we've already seen so much dialogue. It's crazy that they got the VAs to voice all of this, which is wild for a visual novel, but I mean, everything about it is just fantastic. I'm loving this game. I'm not sure how I feel about Shiro as a character yet. I definitely think we're gonna have to see more of him. It's not a situation like with Rin, where I just like automatically fell in love with her. I'm not having that same reaction to Shiro, but I don't dislike him. I find him very interesting as a character, and I'm excited to learn more about him, and I'm excited to see him put into these, you know, life or death situations and see how he reacts, and I can't wait to see him interact with Saber. I am so hyped for Saber. Oh my god, they're teasing us with Saber. Like, they gave us all that just to, you know, they show her at the beginning, and then they show her at the end of the prologue, and then we go back in time, and it's like, god damn it, now we have to get through a couple days of Shiro's life just to finally get to Saber. Because once we get Saber, we're going to get a ton of Saber, and it's going to be amazing, but they're really making us wait for her, and I think it's a great strategy by the game, because the game is building up Saber to be the best character, and we'll have to see if she actually is, but like, if Saber ends up being the best character, they're doing a tremendous job of building her and making you wait for her, and like, I'm salivating for Saber, and that's the thing, like, it might not be another, you know, I don't even know in episode 4 if we're even going to get to her, because we only did 1 day in this episode. I think it's very possible we might only do 1 day in the next episode, depending on how long February 1st takes, and how much I talk about certain things, because last episode there was a ton of action and excitement, so I actually had less to break down. It was more me reacting to stuff. Whereas in this episode, that slow pace, you know, a lot of character insights and stuff, I have a lot more to discuss. So I feel like in the first episode and this episode, I had a lot more to discuss, whereas last episode, it was mostly just me enjoying the fight and everything going on. So different vibes, and I guess there will be different vibes depending on what's going on throughout the game. But I'm loving Fate. I am really loving Fate, and that is a horrifying thing. The good news is I'm going to be on this game for like 20 years, so I don't even have to think about me being a Fate fan until after I finish this game, which God only knows how long that will take. And God only knows when you guys will even see these videos. And I still, like I said, depending on how long, you know, each route takes and everything, I have no idea if I will treat this as 3 separate games, Fate, Unlimited Blade Works, and Heaven's Feel, or if I'll treat Fate Stay Night as one super long series, where it's just continuous until you get to the end. But whatever the case may be, I'm having a blast with this game. I am so excited for Saber, who we might not even get next episode. And yeah, this is another episode that wasn't super long. I think this episode, I don't know exactly, but I think this episode's going to be somewhere in the range of about 2.5 hours. So this isn't going to be a really long episode. I really want these Fate episodes to be longer, but I did record the last episode, so I recorded kind of 2 probably shorter episodes today, but next episode we'll maybe try, I'm no guarantees, but next episode we might try and get to where we were in Rin's timeline, in Shiro's timeline, if that makes any sense. I don't know if we'll actually get that far, but if we do, that would be awesome, because then it would have taken 2 episodes to get to that point in both timelines, of course. In the prologue, we did days 1 and 2, and then day 3. Here, we just did day 1 of Shiro's life in 1 episode. So maybe we'll be able to do days 2 and 3 in 1 episode, but I somehow doubt that. But I'll try to promise, if possible, to give you guys at least 1 day of content every episode. Because if I can at least get through 1 day every episode, then maybe this Let's Play won't be 20 million parts. So hopefully I'm able to do 1 day every episode. That's going to probably be the goal, but depending on how this game ends up going down the line, who knows if I'll even be able to do that. I honestly have no clue, but I'm super excited, and I hope you guys are as well. Really, really excited. I need to drink some water because I've been out of water for honestly most of the part, and I didn't want to stop. I just wanted to keep playing, and you know, there's not like an insane amount of reading, but my voice is definitely feeling it, so I'm definitely going to get some water the second I finish this recording, so that's in my near future, and I'm excited for that. But all things considered, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, those of you who have not yet decided, without any further ado, it's time for me to bid you adieu. My Patreon is down below in the description if you want to support the channel. My Discord server's there if you want to hang out and talk about various, whether it's cartoon stuff or weebs, otaku stuff, whether it's anime, visual novels, all that fun stuff. You know, or if you want to get in touch with me, you can always message me there. That's the best way to do it. All that fun stuff. But anyways, I am so excited for episode 4 of Fate Stay Night and episode 2 of the Fate Route. But for the time being, we're going to sign out. Flamin' Shark, signing out. Hope you guys have a wonderful, fantastical day, and I'll see you next time with another video. Thanks for watching. Peace.